Welcome to Roleplay Cafe. Top right, Del Branham. In the middle, Justin Green, correct, I
Yep.
think? Kevin Millman, Monkeyworks, YouTube, and Todd McGowan, artist extraordinaire. And I am nobody in particular. Let's play some basic fantasy, baby.
Please.
All right, so we're going to be playing Basic Fantasy. This is going to be a one, maybe two shot, depending on how quickly you guys get through some of this stuff. And it's I'm taking this from a one-page dungeon that I'd seen ages ago that I'll talk about later on after we complete it. Dropping this into a setting that I've been messing around with that has no real system attached to it. But if you guys are interested in the lore of it, we'll do a little preamble, and then we'll jump into the game where you guys can tell me about who your characters are.
Shoot.
So the preamble on this is you're in the 70th day of fall, in the golden year of 112. As you guys can see here, if you're logged into Roll20 at the moment, you're standing up on the cliffs in a snowy area. You're standing on the giant Shield Mountains. And roughly about 5 days ago, you were down in a town of the Kingdom of Rest, and an older human magic user approached you and asked you to help him out on a quest here. He tells you a tale about a magical tower that seems to only appear every 50 years or so. And it just comes out of nowhere and then it disappears not long afterwards. He tells a tale of a wizard who's in that tower, and that he desperately wants that wizard's magic book. And he's tasked your team to go in and retrieve that for him. He says, any other treasure that you find in there, completely yours. And for the service of going, he's offering you guys 100 gold to go and complete this task for him. He set you up with some retainers and some Sherpas to guide you up the mountain and get you there safely. And they will stay there for 5 days. After 5 days, they're heading back to town. That's what he's paid them for.
Right.
And his name is Beryl, by the way.
Can you say that one more time?
Beryl. Beryl. Yep.
Okay. Beryl has hired us.
And he has given you guys just the basic information of it's a tower. He tells you that the wizard's name, it's a female wizard. Her name is Nim. He says that she was way ahead of her time with her research on magic. And he would definitely like to see some of that research or speak with her if she still survives. He doesn't know if she's still alive in this tower or not, but the tower seems to blink in and out every 50 years. He had previously gone with a group of his own adventurers 50 years ago. The adventurers entered the tower. He got injured on his way up the mountain, which is why he's sending you with Sherpas so that you guys don't get hurt. So he never got to enter the tower because he was injured on the way up. But his friends did enter the tower, and they never returned. So there is a sense of danger here that could happen. And we'll open as far as the scene goes. You guys have traveled for a few days from the city center of Rest through some farmers' fields to the bases of the mountain, and the Sherpas have guided you up, and you've now reached the peaks where you were told this tower should be. It's cold up here. There's a little bit of snow going, not like a heavy snow, but like just snow blowing in the wind. Sherpas have set up camp, and you guys have been here for about a day now and seen no tower. And as you stand out and look out here, there is about 4 of you, I guess, that are planning on entering this tower. Let's start with Jason. Who is your character, and what is he doing as he's impatiently waiting for this tower to arrive?
I am Jonathan Short, a elven thief. However, I hide my heritage under long black hair and a hood. I'm trying to pass as a human. I am quiet, reserved, and I do not use my thieves' skills for petty crime. Either it's the big shebang. I'm not interested in pilfering purses or things like that. My character's a professional. I am with this band of adventurers solely for the money and the potential for greater treasure in this tower. There's got to be a lot of it.
Apparently Nim is known to have been well off, so there may be a decent amount of stuff inside this tower. Mm-hmm. Justin, who is your character?
My character is Merrick. He's a little odd. He is a wizard of the arcane arts. However, no one has actually seen him cast any spells ever. He is here more of an advisor than an actual wizard per se. And he seems to mumble to himself very often. He's kind of quirky and a little bit impulsive and prone to yelling randomly. You notice that on his hands, he appears to have these tattoos of what looks like X's, which no one is really too sure what that means, although he talks about how it's some sort of a ban on something, but he mumbles way too much for you to be able to understand what he's talking about. He's like, it's a ban. It's to make sure that, I can't be taught certain things, but you never find out clearly what's going on with him. Essentially what he's here is he's actually not here for the money. He's actually here to learn more about magic, kind of more in the field, and to show that he's not as impulsive or as mad as some of the people in the magic community believe him to be, so that he can get back into their good graces and learn more magic.
Yeah, Beryl was actually trying to find a magician to come into this tower, and a lot of them had heard the history of Nim and this tower blinking in and out, and just turned them down. But your character seemed to be more than willing to take the chance to go along.
Oh, yeah. Merrick is desperate. He's very desperate to get back into the good graces of the wizard schools. So, but yeah, he'll do what he can to try and get what he can. So,
all right, Dill, who are you playing?
I'm playing Seeger Halstead, a dwarf, big long black beard, is forked out and braided. And his face is half scarred up due to whenever he was working, he had worked a claim with a couple of other dwarven kin around in this mountain region. And these orcs had moved into it and held him captive and claimed the caverns and had him and his kinfolk working it. And he had struck in an area that had natural gases and saw a chance for escape because he had been mining fool's gold, pyrite, for them, and they thought it was actual gold. And he struck it and hit it, and the explosion occurred. He barely got out alive, skewered his face, and raced for it as it collapsed in on the orcs. He made his way south to City of Rest, and now he's just looking for money to restart his life.
All right. And Todd?
I am playing Vernton, an itinerant holy man cleric who will gladly trade the gifts of the Sacred Mother in exchange for food and drink. Until he winds up here, really not having much of a calling at all for what the actual mission is, but
food and drink costs money.
Food and drink costs money, so that's why I am here.
All right.
He's kind of don't be fooled by his doughy exterior. Okay, he's pretty quick. Not too strong. He's got leather armor that doesn't quite fit as well as it should. The straps are a little too tight. A lot of stress tests going on there. All right, but he's strictly here for the food and drink.
I feel his pain. I know what it's like having the leather armor not fitting quite right.
Yes.
So you all are standing out here. It's been a day. There hasn't been any tower. You notice the Sherpas and the retainers are starting to get a little bit antsy, but they were paid to stay for a set number of time, and they'll honor that. And as you guys are standing out, looking out over the mountains, and the snow is kind of blowing by, it's getting a little bit later in the evening, and you hear this loud ripping noise, like almost like fabric or paper being torn, and all the wind stops. And as you kind of turn your head, the landscape kind of shimmers for a minute, and as the ripping sound stops, pop, a tower appears And it's the tower. If you're looking at roll 20, you can see it. It's this multi-story, beautifully handcrafted, had to have been made by dwarves. Stone tower, and lights are dancing through the sky all around where this tower has just appeared. And you can see a clear door at the front of it. And it doesn't look like it's terribly far from you. It is relatively close to where you were told this tower would appear.
Ah, there it is, right on time.
There she be. She looks dwarven make.
Okay, so I'm going to quit looking at the back of my robe and being like, oh, yes, it's the tower. Right.
I pick my hammer up and swing it on my shoulder. Clues you into the +1.
All right. Well, let's be quick about this. The sooner we get this task done, the sooner we can be enjoying ourselves with a fine meal afterwards.
Yes, hadn't you better say a prayer to the Sacred Mother on our behalf?
Oh, yes, of course. Sacred Mother, of course. Yes. Well, you probably wouldn't understand. It's the liturgical language. So, yeah, just believe me. It's good. It's all good. All right.
Yeah, good.
You are in her graces.
You must make care to carry us in her good graces.
Of course.
Thank you for your prayers, Doe Man.
As you guys are having this discussion, the wind has started to come back and the snow begins to fall again. Everything seems to return to complete normal, other than the fact that there is now a tower here that wasn't there moments ago.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, the dwarf spits, grumbles, and turns around and walks toward them. Toward the tower.
And in my poor reading of the preamble, one other thing that you guys all have with you, Beryl gave you each a amulet that you're wearing. It's a simple chain amulet with a black stone on it, and on the black stone it's got a blue swirl through that amulet. He told you to make sure you keep that on you at all times while in the tower. And he also gave as a pittance, before he was able to recruit the cleric, he gave the wizard a healing potion to bring with him, just in case it was needed.
Very well.
I guess we follow the dwarf. I'll pull my my cloak tight, my jacket, my furs, and my hood, and fall in step behind the dwarf, letting him plow through the snow for me. The Sherpas, how many days have they been here already with us?
This is coming on to the end of your third day, so you have about a day to a day and a half before they're probably going to head back down.
Okay.
Do we have any supplies that belongs to us?
Yes, they're not going to take your tents,
Okay.
Or stuff, but they won't be there to guide you back down if you guys take too long or what have you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. I just need to know. Okay, so we got roughly 2 days, and we'll at least have some gear here if they do abandon us. Were they surprised by this tower popping into existence?
A couple of them looked up in shock, but they've been keeping pretty much to themselves your whole journey up. They haven't interacted with you guys a whole much. They treat this as a job for hire, and they talk amongst themselves, but they keep themselves very separate from you.
Okay. But they didn't look like they might bolt the minute we go into the tower.
No.
Okay. Not that I can do much about it, but I like to be prepared when I come back with all that treasure.
Yeah. I'll just turn around and I'll try to comfort them, being like, have no fear, dear Sherpas. It's magic. If it's going to kill you, you won't even know.
Well,
Your mother will oversee you all. You will be fine on your return journey, of course. He is watching over you.
The dwarf is stomping through the snow deliberately, purposely to the tower.
I'll go behind Jonathan.
Okay.
Right.
And
So
we'll
I'll
just
just
bring up the rear.
Unless the wizard would rather go in the middle a little bit, then I can be at the rear. It's fine.
I would like to be at least second from the end if possible, and I'll take on my big backpack full of equipment and just kind of wrap myself in my winter blanket.
All right.
And go on my trek up.
Okay. So you guys make it to the base of the tower without any incident, and As you approach, you see that the door is not fully closed. It's been pried open. As a thief, you can instantly tell it was done very crudely. Somebody took like a crowbar and a large lever, and they wrenched on the door.
Fools! Look! Amateurs have been here.
Yeah, it's been damaged. The door is sitting with I don't know, maybe a half a foot open. But if you wish to, you can probably one-handedly open this door without any issue.
I go in right with my shoulder and push. I mean, I'm not stopping any of this,
Okay, so as you push the door open, it reveals a large hall, and I'll show you what this hall looks like here in a moment. As I bring you guys over to this one. There we go. The door swings open, and some of the blowing snow that was happening outside, a few flakes of snow float in through the door. And you notice instantly that as the flakes of snow pass the threshold of the door, they almost seem to slow down, and you can see the individual pieces of this flake of snow, and it just seems to almost suspend itself in the air and isn't blowing around like it was outside. This hall, that as you open it up, you come in, and you're coming in. If you're looking at the little diagram I have of it, coming in from the north end of it.
Oh, okay.
And directly all the way to the south, you can see 3 staircases that seem to converge up, going up to the next level. And in the middle of the room are these 2 large 9-foot statues. Each statue is holding a shield and a sword. Large stone statues there. And otherwise, the room is fairly bare. There's a few cobwebs and stuff around, a little bit of rubble, and some blown-in dirt and stuff, possibly from that door being open. But no other sign of life or anything else in this room.
I took it for a dwarven make. Looks human to me, judging by these statues.
The statues definitely do look human.
I'm keeping walking forward as I'm saying.
I'll investigate, walk around the statues, looking carefully for.
Before you actually get to the statues, as you guys walk in and get about halfway into the room, the statues both begin to move.
Oh,
and they move very slowly, and they stand, they raise their shield, and then they raise their sword, and in a deep, drawn-out voice, Nim is not taking visitors. Please leave. In a very deep, drawn, slow manner, they mention this to you. So this is whenever you guys are about halfway into the room, like between the entrance and halfway to the statues, is when they begin to move.
Yeah, I do it when they start moving. I quickly shuffle back, take my hammer off, they don't
seem to be approaching you. They've now basically come to attention and are aware of your presence, but they're not coming at you. They've just basically asked you to leave.
I will try to move out of their gaze. I just want to give them a wide berth, maybe looking at that stairwell on the right side of me. At the same time, let them know we are not guests. We are burglars.
Well,
we're here to do business.
We're not here for them. We're here for.
I mean, it's best they know we're not guests.
I prefer the term creative acquisitions.
Put your swords down.
We're treasure hunters. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
I like your idea, dwarf. Yes. Maybe if we were not threatening, we might be able to make it across this room without arousing these statues.
They again repeat in the same slow, methodical measure. And Jason, have you moved any closer to the statues?
I'm trying to move. I'm trying to skirt around them, in a way, keeping the same distance, but trying to get around to those stairs.
So once you get past the halfway point between the door and the statues, they will start to try to move towards you. Like at least whichever one is closest to you is going to move to cut you off.
Okay.
There isn't really any place that you can hide. You've been spotted. This room is lit.
Right. But they're slow, right? So I can, in a couple of steps, get by them, or what?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to continue, though, we're probably going to roll for initiative. So as soon as you try to get by them, we're gonna do a roll.
I was going to say, we could try and see if we can legitimately just let them know. Listen, it has been long since we've been able to gain access to the tower, and we believe Nim might be in trouble. Are you absolutely certain that we cannot meet with her? And I just want to see if they react in a different way, or if
it seems like an endless loop of the exact. They don't seem to have much of a conversation. They seem to have an exact, almost like a pre-programmed message that they're just repeating on endless loop in a very slow.
Seeger, what is this? What dwarven make is this, Seeger?
It doesn't look dwarven make. The building does, but these statues are strange to me.
So is this magic?
Yeah, I could probably say with about 75% certainty, maybe.
If you're asking Seeger, he's looking at them as people inside. All right, put your weapons down, and I'm repeating it. All right, I've still got my.
You're telling them to put the. Are you telling the statues, or you're?
I'm telling them that. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
The statues make no response to your
I'm
demand at all.
Do a counterclockwise circle as
opposite me.
Or opposite short. Yeah.
Okay, so as you two head to the outside walls and start moving around, one on each side is moving towards you. I assume the other two are staying somewhere in the middle.
I would have been standing back here just trying to kind of project my voice out to them because I don't want to mess around too much with these things.
So Jason and Del, once you guys get somewhat close to them, like if you're within like parallel to where their starting point is here, once that happens, we're going to roll initiative. So if you guys want to go by there, you can.
Yeah, but my goal will be, my intent will be not to engage them. It's going to be to get by them and up the stairs.
It's to outrun them, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean,
divide their attention.
Yes. So,
yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep moving until, if they attempt to engage me, then
yeah. And so as soon as you get close to parallel, they begin to try to engage you. At that point, you see that their attention goes from being. Or the one that's closest to you, its attention goes from being across the whole room to being the target that's trying to move past it. And same thing with you, Del. The other one changes its target, and he kind of locks onto you, ignoring the other two that are in the room, probably keeping some sort of an eye on them, but not primary focus. And you see him raise his sword, and we'll roll for initiative just to see.
And I have a +1 dex. So here's my roll. Where to go? 4 is what I got.
Okay. And why is roll 20 not?
I'm in roll 20. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I was talking to myself. Roll 20 had a screen up for me and it wasn't going anywhere.
This is individual initiative.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how Kevin wants to do it, but normally it's individual. I believe.
We'll go. Typically, we'll do group initiative just to make it easier moving forward. But.
So I got us a 4 for what that's worth. Actually, with my +1, 5.
All right, and we'll see what the statues get. Statues get a 4. So, Jason, is your intention just to try to run right for the staircase?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna stay hopefully out of their arm's reach with their weapon and go as fast as possible to the stairs.
Okay. Yeah. You see them turn. His arm is moving incredibly slowly. And he's able to turn to face you and kind of make like a step, but it's almost like he's slicing his sword through like molasses or something. It's very, very slow, and before you're ever in any real danger of the sword reaching you, you're able to get past him and get behind him.
Okay.
Del, what was your plan? Were you planning on trying to avoid, or were you going to engage at this point?
Well, it depends on the situation, because what I'm trying to do is do the exact same thing that Jason's doing. Okay, look. Either if he's too quick for me, I'm running for high ground. All right.
Okay, so you're not running to engage. You're running to get to the staircase. And if you have to engage, you will.
But and I got an alternate way of facing him if he cuts me off.
Okay, so he's not able to cut you off so much as he's in your face, and you can either choose to. You see him raising the sword again, and it looks like he's moving a little bit through molasses. You can choose to stop and fight, or just continue to move. It's your choice on which way you're going to go there. It's your initiative.
It's both. I want to run up the stairs. What is my character's name again?
Seeger.
Bigger.
Sager.
No. Seeger. I'm huffing it up the stairs. I get to the little flat area at the top, and I'm turning around and facing both of them up there, and waving to the other two. Come quick, because they've obviously,
Yeah.
attention.
Okay. And the other two, what are you guys doing? So I'll say that both Jason and Dell's characters have reached the bottom of the, or
Right.
there's somewhere on these
side of the bottom.
heights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I give the wizard a shove. Get your heathen ass in gear, magic man. Push him forward.
Okay, I'm just gonna book it just while these guys are kind of like Like I'm guessing they're kind of distracted by Seeger and
They
John.
kind of did this number, I think, right?
Yeah,
They headed this way.
yeah. So whatever their blind spot might be, I'm just gonna run through it, and I'm just kind of having a thought. I'm gonna say just as Merrick, is this entire room under the effect of like a slow spell, like maybe from the previous party?
Everything, there's not a whole lot to judge off of, but the statues are definitely moving incredibly slow. And like I said, the little bit of snow that blew into the room does seem to be hanging in the air. Even dust motes, as these guys are running around, they're kicking up dust and what have you. The dust seems to linger in the air a little bit.
Right.
We're
Okay.
the only ones. I think it's our amulet is giving us some protection from this temporal effect. Maybe I don't know, but the fact that I can move faster than them is a positive. So that's why I'm.
Take it and run with it.
I don't believe that's what the amulet is doing at all, but I mean, I'll take it. But all right, but no, yeah, I'll just hoof it, just kind of staying in their blind spot as much as I can because I don't want these things to really see me running up for the door. So all I'm doing is just moving out. So
Okay, so you guys are all getting up to. You guys have all basically reached either the base of the stairs or the midpoint of the stairs. The statues have both turned and faced towards the stairs, and you see their swords are swinging towards you. They might be able to reach the two folks that are on. So Jason and Dell's, the swords might be able to reach to you. These statues were, I'm not sure if I mentioned, they're about 9 feet tall, so they've got quite a bit of an arm reach as they go. Each will take a swing. But not until after you guys act next. These guys are going to be acting on every second round. So the first round you guys ran, these guys kind of had a little bit of movement, but their actual attacks take place on the second round.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well,
So you guys can either choose to attack, or if you guys get up to the top of the stairs, there's basically the stairs continue up to another little landing with a door. That you could try to
Now,
do.
are we at the top of the stairs now, or are we?
If on this turn you want to continue up to the top of the stairs, you'll be able to reach up to there where there's a door.
I want to get to the landing before I do anything else.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll meet the dwarf at the door.
Okay.
I got to get on their eye level. Yeah. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
You do that, Sager. I'm going through that door.
I'm at the midpoint, just be like, open the bloody door! Yeah.
Hurry along, magic man.
They're very slowly making their way to us.
No, but I'll break. I don't have a shield, do I?
I don't know what you have for equipment.
No, I got a hammer.
Now, I didn't equip you with your armor and stuff, Dale. I just grabbed that first fighter's pack.
It just says battle basics, so I don't know what that means.
Okay. So you might have needed to spend some of the money in that fighter's pack to get armor and a weapon. Sorry.
No, so the first fighter pack will give you a long sword.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
The second one is a polar arm and chainmail, and the third one is leather armor, a long sword, and a short bow. So,
I'm a dwarf, I can't use no long swords or long bows. So I got to have a hammer and maybe a shield.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can take the first one and just swap out long sword for hammer.
Yeah, it'll work.
Warhammer. Cool.
All right. So you guys are,
40K.
you guys are all up on the landing. What actions are you taking once you get there? So you guys are able to move up to the top of the landing. What's the battle plan here, or is there?
Well,
a
I'm
battle
going to
plan
check the door for traps, and then before I try to push it open or grab handles, I'm going to look it over for potential threats.
And I'm going to actively hide behind the dwarf.
Okay.
And I will
get to the door.
I will guard.
Okay. And
guard my-
dwarf is trying to get on eye level with these statues.
Yeah, I'll get up to the top landing, and I just want to brace, while he's trying to get to the door or get us to the door.
Okay. So you're bracing in case of any attack comes. Jason, you're able to look over the door. It looks like a pretty standard wooden door. There's a latch on it. There's no keyhole or anything like that.
Okay.
As you look around, the construction doesn't seem of any particular speciality. It just looks like a fairly bog standard door.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's anything in particular that you're looking for.
I'm looking for hidden traps. Right.
Okay, so you kind of run your hand along the seam between the door and the door frame. You don't find anything that you wouldn't expect there. There's no additional mechanisms. You don't see any levers or nothing pushes in or anything as you jiggle around in that area.
Then I will. While I'm doing this, I'm looking to see, does the door push in, or pull open?
It pushes in.
Okay. Once I'm pretty confident, I'll fit my fingers and I'll push either side and see which way it swings.
All right. So as you begin to crack the door, at that point, I'm going to have our two statues do their attack rolls. They're both going to swing their swords at, I guess, Dell and the cleric are the ones they would reach first. So we'll roll and see. These guys get +5 to their roll. So the first one coming to Dell's character, 7. I'm going to assume misses. And 1. They both miss. So you see their swords come, and the swords are also made of this giant slab of stone that's been hewn into the shape of a sword, and it just crashes into the staircase. It's actually chipped off a couple of the stairs and just turned them to rubble, but missed you guys completely. Presumably because you guys are moving to them relatively so much faster that they swung where they saw you, and you were already up on the landing by that point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very well. Very well.
Hurry up, Short. They're bearing down on us.
Yeah, I'll just push the door. If it's not locked, I'll push it open.
Okay, so the door opens up to us, kind of like extends that landing, and there's another staircase that goes up further from there. So you could all get into this almost like a closet-sized landing, close the door, and then have another staircase that you could go up.
I'll just yell to them, "This way, gents!" and up. I'll just take off up the stairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does
I'll
everybody
just
follow?
retreat backwards, making sure I'm the last one to leave.
Okay.
Make sure you shut the door. Last one through shuts the door.
And hurry along.
You're actually muted. You're muted, Justin. Sorry.
Shut your blasted mouth.
Shoot. I was going to say, yeah, I'm going to run immediately in. But then the moment Jonathan said, make sure you close the door, I'll close the door when you're the last one. And then I'll slowly open it again.
All right. So you guys get in and close the door, and you hear any sound. When these statues were moving, they made kind of like a grinding stone sound.
Okay.
As soon as the door closes, all sound seems to end. So you're not sure if it's the fact that the door closed and it cut out the sound, or if just everybody over on the other side of the door stopped moving. But that all sound from there stopped, and
Okay.
you guys are now on the staircase heading up to the second level. And Jason has taken off up there. When you reach the top of the stairs, there's yet another door that would open up to, you assume, the room that's on the second level. And it looks very similar to the very first door that you had seen here.
Okay. While they catch up to me, I'll examine this for traps before I push it open. Or
Yep. And very much the same as before. At your level of thief skills, this is not a challenge at all. You quickly pass through, and it doesn't look like there was any security being done on this door at all.
Right. Well, they didn't need it. They had 2 gigantic automatons to do it for them. So I'll push it open again, whatever side, right side, whatever. I'll just push until it swings open.
Okay. And this one swings open into the room.
Okay.
And we'll roll up here. So as you guys come in, you're now, if you're looking at the map, you're on the south side because that's where you guys came in. And you open up the door, and you see what looks to be kind of like a grand dining room / living room area. There is nice tapestries on the wall. There's comfortable chairs in front of a fireplace. There's a large banquet table. On that banquet table, you see piles of gold sitting on this banquet table. The understated part about this room is that you're also seeing skeletons around. There's 2 skeletons seated at the table with the gold. Both appear to be sleeping, and you can hear a loud snoring sound, but it sounds like they're both coming at the exact same time at an incredibly high pitch. So it's like a instead of like an in and out snoring, but you can see that they appear to be asleep. There's another skeleton over on the southernmost chair of the room, flipping through a book. And as you observe, he seems to be just reading like pages per second almost.
Did they notice us as we pushed the door open?
No, they haven't reacted to you guys at all. And then the 4th skeleton was sitting over on the north chair. Seems like he wanted to add some fuel to the fire, and you see him get up, and it's almost like he's stutter stepping at an incredibly high pace across the room, picks up a log, puts it in the fire, and he stutter steps back to his seat, and the wood seems to burn at an incredible pace inside this fireplace. They haven't seemed to have noticed you at all, and let me just see if there's anything on here as well that you guys should know about. The skeleton who goes back and sits in the chair after putting wood in the fire seems to make an offhand remark. His words are coming out incredibly quick and incredibly high pitched, but you hear him say something about how Beryl is missing out. You distinctly hear the name Beryl mentioned, and that is all that you see here.
I'll whisper to.
Sorry, and there was one more thing. Above the fireplace, there's a grand painting of a dragon wearing bones for a crown, and hundreds of goblins are bowing down in front of him. But that's for whatever reason that's in the room. But yes, carry on.
Yeah, I'm obviously.
There's an in joke there. Yeah.
I'm backing in last into them when I turn around and they're standing obviously quiet, taking all this in, and I kind of look around. The gold.
Yeah.
No, don't preoccupy yourself with that. I'll take care of the gold, but Vernton.
Stand aside, my friend.
Did he say Beryl?
Look, the Beryl.
Yes, the one to the furthest north mentioned it like he was familiar with him for some reason.
Well, we know Beryl. Maybe we can talk to these creatures, find out their story.
They're dead. They're dead. Cleric.
Dead.
Yes,
they're
I
moving.
know.
They're moving and
agree.
speaking. What do you mean dead?
No. These are foul abominations. These are undead. We must send them to their just deserts. Please.
Do skeletons normally talk? It was under my understanding that they're normally animated with like some sort of like foul magic that makes them highly aggressive. I mean, but I don't see. I see them chatting and sleeping. Mm-hmm. This sounds more like this might be.
Why don't you go up there and chat with them and see what happens?
Well, I will.
All right, so I'll start going down to chat with them.
Yes.
And
I'll stand now.
Which one are you heading towards?
Eyes open. Oh well, good. Don't forget, we know Beryl.
Yeah, we'll go to the one. I'll just walk over to the one with the north. It sounds like a good idea. I'll chat with them.
Yeah.
So as you enter into the room, none of the four. I mean, the two that are sleeping are sleeping. The one reading the book never looks up from the book. And as you get all the way over to the chair of the one that had gotten up to put wood into the fireplace, as you begin to speak, his head turns, and you can see a confused look on his face as he's trying to discern what he's seeing and hearing in front of him. And what do you say?
So,
and he's like, "What is that?" And you can hear him kind of mumble to himself. It's again very high pitched and very quick, but he's clearly confused about what he's seeing in front of him.
Okay,
I'm going to keep a close eye on these other skeletons. with a hand on my short sword, just in case.
So I'm going to tell him, I'm Merrick, the wizard, sent here by Beryl to find out what happened to the previous, was it not excavation, what do you call it? The expedition. The previous expedition that came to this tower. You appear to be a talking skeleton to me, if that is of any help, if you're trying to figure this out.
And as the words get to him, you see him, his head's turning back and forth as you're speaking, and he's like, "What the?" And when he finally hears the word barrel, he kind of calls over to the other skeleton, and says, "I think this thing is saying it's barrel." And the skeleton puts down his book relatively quickly and is looking over, and he's also kind of twisting his head trying to figure out what the fuck is standing in front of him.
I'm wondering if maybe we're moving too fast when you had mentioned that the amulet maybe had increased our
Oh, right. Or
speed,
maybe we're too slow.
Yeah, it's a temporal tower, but we don't go metagaming. I'll slap the cleric. Do your work, cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yes, finally.
Get the buck short.
The power of the
Hammer on my shield like that.
sacred mother to put an end to these foul beasties.
And then I jump off that landing and land like that. All right.
And I'm headed for the gold.
Roll for.
Do I see them running, like charging down the stairs, weapons drawn, and I'm out here by myself? I'm like,
yeah. So you see these guys with it? They do start coming down, weapons drawn, and there's no reaction from the skeletons at all. The two that were sitting on the chairs are focused on you, Justin, and they don't really seem to notice anybody else coming into the room. The other two are still asleep. And Jason, you're heading directly towards the gold?
Yes, yeah. I'll tiptoe around these poor sleeping individuals and just help myself to that bag of gold.
Okay. So who's doing what first? Are you touching the gold first? Is the cleric taking any action first? Is the dwarf?
I would like to present them with my holy symbol and make them much afeared.
Make them much afeared. Well, let's roll. See if you make them much afeared.
Here I go.
Here I go. Here I go.
Here I go again.
Oh, rolling.
mm.
I think that's pretty close.
Yeah,
Is there any wisdom bonuses given to that roll?
I think so. Great.
Actually, no. 12 does it.
And then you have to roll. I believe it's a
2d6. Yep.
Yeah.
Where's my mouse pad here? All right. And yes, in the name of the sacred lady, stand back, you foul beasts. Eat.
So I'm going to say that the two that are sleeping never see your stuff come out, but the two that are awake, they don't see you, but they see a blinding light coming from your direction. You appear to them almost like a shapeless blob that moves at an incredibly slow pace. You most especially look like a shapeless blob.
Coincidentally, yeah, no.
But and upon seeing it, both skeletons go to cover their eyes and they scream in agony, and bolt for the back corner of the room to the very.
Flee!
They both bolt their way back here. Upon hearing their scream, the two that are at the table lift their head as they see Jason reaching for the gold that's on the table. And we roll for initiative.
Oh. You will not be needing this. All right.
They rolled a 3 for their initiative. So whoever, Jason, you're the one causing the initiative by touching the gold.
Yeah,
so you
I
roll
have
for
a
the
+1 bonus. Oh, I got a 2.
All right.
Total.
So they are rolling first. Or so they're actioning first. The one that was sitting directly next to the gold is going to stand and swing his sword at you.
Okay.
He's only a HD 1, so he only gets the +1 to his roll here. And 14 hit?
Yes, it does. It hits me. Yes.
All right, and he's rolling a d6 of damage. Luckily, only 1 damage. So he swings, and it slides across the armor that you have, and just catches a nick of skin in between the seams, and opens up a small wound, but nothing life threatening to you. The other stands and jumps to the top of the table. Again, not even looking back at the screams that he heard. That's his gold that you're messing with.
Right.
So he's going to be coming directly for you.
Okay.
15 hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And d6 damage on that one. Again, only a 1 damage. So these guys are swinging, they're connecting, but they've been maybe still in a little bit of stage of sleep and not able to connect as solidly as they should.
Okay.
And now it's over to you guys. So you guys pick whatever order you wish to go in at this point.
Okay. Like I said, you do your work, cleric.
Yes. If I'm allowed to, I will. Can I
Now,
turn again?
what's the book? Beryl's book, and the book that old boy dropped in the chair. And I take notice of Short over there, and the one that I hear him jump on top of the table.
So the book that you pick up, you don't have time to investigate it thoroughly, but it's a well-paged book, and it has a picture of a giant on the cover. So yeah, you can pick that up and pocket it if you like. And yeah, you do see the attacks happening. Actually, I'm not sure what is the ruling for what is there a cooldown period between turn on deads for?
That's what I'm just looking up. I can't.
Turn dead. Oh God.
Dead. Yeah, I'm looking right. They roll to real 2 minutes.
Let's see.
Because I didn't roll against those two that were at the heads, right? So
Yeah, because they weren't they couldn't see your holy symbol or anything else at that point.
right.
Holy cow!
I don't
That's a great
see.
question. I forget.
Yeah.
Is that the holy symbol of like a cow?
Yeah, it's a holy cow, exactly. That's awesome. He is a large guy, remember?
Yes. I am.
It doesn't actually say.
Doesn't say.
it's-
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. If any roll to turn the undead fails, that cleric may not attempt to turn undead again for 1 full turn. So it sounds to me
Yeah, so you didn't fail. Yours worked.
didn't fail.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, there's no penalties.
I agree with that as well. So yeah, you can turn in their direction and try to roll again if you'd like.
All right. And again, I will call upon the Sacred Mother.
Which is a holy cow.
Apparently now. Emergent play.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why he's so rolly. It's the god of butter and milk.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
The dairy, sacred mother cow.
All right. So yeah, you roll a 14. I believe that's a success for you. So
2d6. Hold on.
yeah, which you automatically win by default because these guys are each 1 HD. So again, the holy light shines right onto them, and they look up.
The buttery holy light.
Yeah, it's yellow like
It is.
yellow butter, and they scream and again try to cover their eyes and move away from Jason. I'm not sure if Jason wants to engage with them at all, or if he's just going to continue picking up.
Oh no! I nod at my partner of Ernst Hahn. Good, and I grab up I've got it out the door. Let's go.
You see me running though. I was already in motion, going straight to that table. As soon as Verton, Todd's character, left off, I jotted to the left, running across, and you said one of them jumped on the table. I want to take it and flip it up if I can.
Yeah, I mean you're a lot strong. It's I mean it's a big table, but
you're
a very strong, hardy dwarf. So I don't think it'd be an issue.
Pick it up and topple it to topple him too.
Okay,
and maybe make a barricade for Jason's character.
all right. Yeah, they're taking off for the corner. They're trying to stay as far away from the cleric as possible in the light. They don't seem to be heading towards the stairs, but both groups are kind of huddled off in their separate corners. The roll a d20, and if you get above a 10, we'll see how well he flies through the air off your flip.
14.
Yeah, no problem at all. You flip the table, and as he's he's covered up his eyes from trying to shield himself from the light, and was already heading off in the direction of the corner. But then the table lurches underneath him, and he goes flying forward and hits the wall in a clump. And you see a couple of the ribs of the skeleton and part of the pelvic area of it just crack as it hits into these strong stone walls.
Slides down.
And he's now laying in a clump again, holding his eyes, trying to stay away, as the other one is huddled beside him and not doing anything. The gold, unfortunately, Jason, as you're trying to pick it up, the gold bag has now been flung as well, and you've got gold that's been kind of scattered around the floor.
Damn you, fool!
Quick short.
You can still get it. It's not like it's inaccessible, but
trust me,
it's no longer a nice.
I'm chasing every coin around, and I'm scooping it up, putting it back in the bag. Great work, Sager.
What's
your
John?
What's your wisdom?
Mine?
No, Jason. What's your wisdom?
My wisdom? Let's see here. Personally, it's about 6, but my character's wisdom is 10.
All right, so just roll a d20. If you get above a 10, you find all the pieces. Otherwise, I'll roll to see how many you don't find that's scattered around the room.
Here it comes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! What is everything's a 1?
He was blinded by the light.
Oh, yeah, right. Go! And what are you doing, Verta?
The
Not
rich,
me,
buttery
the
goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, the Milky Way just
All right, so we're gonna roll.
Damn, I got like 1. Oh well, and it's probably bad. I'm testing it. Yes, I think that one's good.
All right, so you've lost track of 50 gold.
Oh no!
I'm hurt, and I've lost my treasure.
So, but there is still quite a bit of treasure here. So of what you've been able to gather and stuff into your pockets and what have you, as the cleric is holding holding all 4 skeletons back from you, you've been able to collect up 250 gold.
Oh,
that was in here. There was 300, but somehow either under
that's
carpet.
coming out of your take, Sager. It's your fault.
Blasted, you're too slow.
And
Those statues in that room.
the book that you have in your hand, as you're taking a moment here while you're being chastised, you kind of look down at it to see maybe this was the spell book that you're looking for. As you open it, it seems to be like a book of fables, telling of giants and dragons, but no spells. This appears to be a storybook.
But still, books are worth quite a bit. It'll sell really nice to a collector if we can find the right buyer.
That'll pay for supper tonight. Yes.
Barrel will buy it.
Yes, I have fenced many an expensive book. You good. They can bring quite a price on the market.
All right. Okay, so is there anything that you guys are planning on doing at this point?
I'm walking over.
Okay.
By the way, how long does your turn on dead last for? By the way,
Yeah, because I was going to run behind the cleric at this point.
Okay.
What is that?
2d4. 2d4 turns.
hey, roll your 2d4.
Let's see how long the buttery light of the Sacred Mother will last.
The Milky Way of
It's
Yeah, may your
This is one
dice
of
be
those-
slick and roll. Yeah.
All right.
funny. You're going to see back in the AP. This is one of those funny moments. I was reading something in the book when I said "Holy cow," which was just in relation. So it's going to be. You'll see me in the book when I say it.
Yes. Now it's
Yeah.
canon.
So everything in this room, as you know, is like the skeletons. Everything we're moving very quickly. Your 2d4 is halved, so it's been 2 rounds. So as the gold is being picked up, the skeletons have been flung. The buttery goodness is starting to fade a little bit.
Now it's supposed to be turns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
turns?
total turns, right? You guys had
40
one.
That's
No.
40 minutes.
Yeah,
Not
turns and
rounds,
rounds are
turns.
different.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I was thinking.
Yeah,
sorry, I was
that's
thinking
okay.
rounds.
No, I was trying to see if there was a temporal thing going on here.
Oh,
Yeah. So it would be 2 turns then at this
2
point,
turns. Okay. All right. 20 minutes.
because everything seems to be moving roughly twice or
We don't
more
know
fast.
okay.
All right.
As far as we know, it could be 40 minutes.
Right.
So-
I don't know.
Well,
Right.
time seems to operate differently in the tower.
That's right.
For whatever
I'll leave
reason.
that to Claire to tell me.
So you guys decide what if you want to investigate this room more, or if you're going to head to the.
I will definitely head to the painting, because behind most paintings in such establishments might be found a safe or a nook. So I will grab that dragon, that despicable dragon painting, tear it down, throw it into the fire, and look for a safe.
Can I take it from him before he throws it into the fire? And I'll just take my dagger out and I'll just cut it and roll it and put it in my bag.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you want with that fool nonsense?
He can sell it. Same as the book.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we're adventurers. Whatever's not nailed down is free game.
The art collector.
As you rip the painting off the wall, there was a little nozzle in the wall behind, and it starts emitting out a greenish gas.
Great work.
That seems to be moving at a rapid pace.
Uh-oh. See what you've done now. I'm headed for those stairs as fast as I can.
The gas rises. Is it dropping or is it going up?
No, it's slowly seeping out over
the
the mantle.
Nostrils, probably.
It's seeping out over the mantle and starting to fall to the floor.
See it. Spouts of green gas being like, "Look what you did!"
Is that spiral staircase going up or down?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that spiral staircase is going upwards. I apologize.
Okay. Good thing the gas is going down.
Yeah.
Spiral staircase.
Spiral staircase is going up to what you would assume would be the next level.
My little legs are churning over there. Churn, 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 churn.
Yeah.
I grab the center and start going up.
Yeah.
All right.
Roadrunner, just.
Mm-hmm.
I will be the last one up the stairs as I keep these undead at bay.
Jason, can you do a save against poison though for me? Because
Yes.
you did take that blast of cloud right to the face.
Yes.
You were ripping the painting off.
And my save versus poison is 12. Okay.
And you're an elf. Don't you get a bonus to that? Or is that dwarves?
Not for poison.
No, it's
I don't
dwarves.
think.
That would be dwarves, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it's
I think
dwarves,
dwarves do, or fighters may too. Where am I at? Okay, so I'm trying to get to roll 20 here. Okay, so I need a 12 and up, and I've been rolling ones. Oh no, 6.
So you take a huge mouthful of this green gas that comes out. And as you're coughing, it's coming out your nose, like you were saying. Like
I did not see that coming. I should have known.
Rookie mistake.
And as it comes in, it doesn't seem to be. You don't feel any. You don't feel like a immediate effect of poison in terms of like a burning sensation or anything like that. But your stomach wrenches and you feel a little bit ill, and you heave and just mass vomit into the fire.
Oh.
Can you roll a D4 for me?
Yes.
And remove whatever that total is from your HP
2.
points.
Okay.
And then you can. Then you are free to join your competitors on the stairs, or your companions on the stairs.
Competitors.
Competitors.
That's a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Competitors. Okay, so I'm limping pretty bad here. I'll follow them over, wiping my mouth, trying not to vomit any longer. And if I feel it coming upon me, I will aim for the floor, the walls, not for my companions in front.
Okay. Seeing you feeling this rough, I feel like, you know what? I have a potion that might be able to help you at this point. So I'll just go and I'll root in through my backpack and bring out the glass flask. I'm assuming is. Are
you sure? I could call upon the Sacred Mother to cast her buttery light down upon him.
I look up into your face. You see vomit in the corners of my mouth. I'm greenish.
You know what?
I got a
That is
tear.
a better
I got
idea.
a tear running down my face. I've got a couple of scars from those skeletons cutting me. And
You're right. He can't throw up a
if the
spell.
Sacred Mother
Exactly.
would do for me, I would appreciate it.
The Sacred
Very
Mother
well
doesn't have
then,
holy water,
very well
so holy
then.
milk.
Now you might get the taste of buttermilk in your mouth during this. It's one of the side effects.
Okay, wait, whoa.
God pulls off his.
Yeah, as the thick, rich buttermilk goes down your throat. Yeah.
Right from
I
the
don't know what
teat.
game. I don't know what game we're playing now, but this is crazy.
Yes, feed from the teat of the Sacred Mother.
Ew.
Good following
my gosh.
Jason. Spiral staircase.
Okay. Let's see. 1d6 plus 1 hit points. Okay. Here we go.
All right, come on.
Sacred Mother, feed this child your buttery goodness.
Oh,
2 points.
yeah. There's too many ones coming up here, man.
Oh, the algorithm's just not working for us.
All right. So, so how does
my
how does-
stomach? And you feed me that what is that? A water skin?
No, that's just the Holy Mother's goodness flowing into your being. Yes.
Please don't say flowing.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
all right.
And a
Not literally flowing.
Okay, so you guys head up to the up the staircase. The staircase terminates at another door at the very top. Again, looking the same as all the previous ones have. No discernible difference.
No.
If Jason's character wishes, he could do a quick check for traps.
I will. Yes.
And
Yep.
and finds nothing of note.
Okay.
This is another door that swings inwards into the room.
Okay. Yeah, I'll push it open, and then I'll kind of let one of them come around me to go in first, since I'm better, but I'm afraid I might vomit upon the next occupant of these rooms.
Okay, so before anything, before any actions, let me describe what you guys see as you enter here. The door swings open, and you see what looks to be almost like a mad scientist's lab here. There's bottles of various potions and ingredients hanging from the ceiling. There's dried goods hanging from the ceiling. There's several tables here full of test tubes and beakers, and weird bubbling potions seem to be being brewed. There is a staircase that seems to lead up here in the room, but it's surrounded by a metal fencing, like a metal cage almost. There is a large red barrel in the back of the room. There is in the center of the room, a little pedestal with a bright white crystal sitting on this pedestal. And over by the grate is another large stone, almost barrel-looking item, which seems to have bubbling liquid inside it. You can see it just bubbling over the top. There's the smells in this room are of every smell in the world you could possibly imagine hitting you all at the same time, both good and bad. And you just hear the sounds of bubbling and liquid swishing around. You hear the jangle of the bottles above you as you enter into this room.
Yeah, I'll.
You have a feeling as well. You have
I'll
a brief
turn toward
moment.
this corner here in the left and vomit up more of as I catch the odor of this room. First good, then bad, then and I'm vomiting again.
All right, Del, your dwarf sees that happen, and you have a strange sense of deja vu, like you've been here before and you've seen that before.
Well, I just saw him vomit the other room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you guys step in, that same loud ripping sound that you had heard when the tower appeared outside, you hear that same loud ripping sound again as you step into this room, and the whole building seems to shake a little bit. The bottles up on the ceiling are moving around and clanging.
All the bottles are swishing around.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that might not be good.
Okay. I go into a horse stance to steady myself, my hand on the wall.
Yeah, it's like an earthquake. Like the floor is shifting underneath you a little bit as it goes, and everything's moving around.
Yeah, I got my other one on shorts back.
So that motion and shifting, I'm on my all fours now, vomiting worse with this motion sickness.
Well, I got my hand on your back. I'll lift you. Get up, short.
Yeah. Hold his hair back.
Get to your feet. Yeah, hold
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh no,
real friend.
I won't let him do that. Is he? No, because you'll see that I have elf ears.
What is this, Kevin?
That is the large stone, almost like a barrel-looking thing. It's a little bit taller than the dwarf. It's be about 5 feet tall, and you can see that there's liquid inside it that seems to be bubbling a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys come in, and there's been a little bit of vomiting happening, a little bit of movement around. The room is shaking enough that some of the bottles from the ceiling start to drop. And are crashing into each other, and they're starting to smash around a little bit. I'm gonna roll a D8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 is how we're going to assign if anybody has to do any changes, if anybody has to do any saves here. So 1, I'm going off the order of how I see everybody on my screen. So Jason, as you're leaning over puking, a bottle falls. And can you roll a save versus what's the save there? Give me a moment to open up the character sheet so I can see it.
Poison.
Well, not necessarily. We're gonna do where's your abilities? Saves. Save verse is
paralysis.
Yeah, let's do that one. That sounds like a good one.
Okay, that's a 12, and I have a actual bonus against paralysis.
Yep.
A +1. Okay, so I get a +1 added to this. And I need a 12 and up. So here we go. Hey! 17. 18 with my +1.
So the bottle falls and lands in front of you, but doesn't crack open.
Yeah, it lands in my vomit.
Yeah, it kind of clunks off of you a little bit and then lands in front of you and doesn't bust open. Is there anybody taking any actions at the exact moment?
The first thing I would have done is I probably would have started heading towards these tables just to kind of try and get a look at what all the different potions and everything might be just sitting on them if they're working on them. They're
not labeled, but there's different colors on there. So you've got red and green and purple, and there's a black one, and there's all different colors of liquids running through various tubes. Some of them going into small handheld bottles, much like what you see hanging from the ceiling. But none of them have any labels on them.
Okay. Taking a look briefly on the table, is there like a book or like a document or anything that they might be going by some sort of a formula or maybe even a chalkboard or something?
No, but if you can give me a roll against your try to roll underneath your intelligence.
Okay.
D20 under your intelligence.
Nope.
You have no clue what any of these potions are. You're just like, these are pretty colors. Anybody else taking any actions at the moment?
I'm going towards the stone water barrel.
Okay.
Investigating that. So is it actually boiling, or is it?
It's not boiling. As you get there, you get a very strong acidic smell coming into you. I'm not sure if you're going to touch it or do any other investigations, but you get this strong, almost sulfur acidic type smell coming up as you approach it. It's not bubbling. It doesn't seem to be bubbling like it's boiling water. It seems to be like
chemical reaction of some sort.
Yeah.
Yes. And does this look like it would be? I'd be able to overturn it if need be.
You probably need some help. This is a pretty stout, made of thick stone wall.
Right. Okay. And there's no ladle or anything to take.
Not right there. In fact, as you're staring at that and investigating it, you hear a loud hissing sound. Starting to come from the red barrel back here. Right. Something else fell and all the shifting and smacked into this red barrel. This one looks like it's just made out of metal, and a small crack has appeared on it, and there's a hissing sound as almost like a gas, and something you can't see starts hissing out of that.
Okay. Now, as far as Seeger, I have my hand on Short's back. Buck up, Short! And then I walk away from him, and I'm thinking and looking around from hearing that sound. Saying this as I'm walking to the crystal, looking at it. I think the towers disappeared. We're trapped in it.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned the crystal. So first, D4. So that's going to be Todd. Todd, can you roll also your paralysis check to see if this bottle's going to break on you?
What do you need me to roll? Sorry.
No, the paralyzed save, please.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yep. Let me find my character sheet. It's not
So
showing
the
it.
building is still shaking, right?
Yeah,
Is that-
still shaking
okay,
violently.
Okay, I didn't realize it was. So it's still shaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No.
No.
No, you rolled a 6.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so a large bottle falls from the ceiling, and lands right in front of you, smashing open, and a black cloud of just vileness comes poofing out of it, and it just covers your whole body and it starts to burn quite badly. Can you do me a save against poison?
Save against poison. Now this takes into effect your Constitution modifier.
Yep.
And I think you get an extra ability due to being a dwarf.
I'm not a dwarf.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're not. Sorry. That's
Yeah, no. I got a -1 to Constitution, so whatever I roll is done by 1.
Damn.
Even your character.
Lucky me. Hey,
Got it.
nice.
Ooh, got 20 too.
Oh,
20.
nice.
All right.
all right. So you get to take half damage off whatever you roll here. Roll a d8, and you're going to take
Ooh.
half of whatever it is.
Ooh.
You're so kind.
No problem.
Oh.
Ooh.
So as you approach that crystal, the room shakes and the crystal vibrates a little bit and flashes a blinding light out across the room in all angles because it's standing in the middle and just almost to the point where nobody can see. So I want everybody to do a dexterity check. Roll under your dexterity. If you do, you manage to get your hands up to cover your eyes. Otherwise, you are going to go completely blind from this crystal.
Okay. So my
Say
dex-
what?
Oops.
Meanwhile, that hissing barrel's still going, and stuff is still falling from the ceilings.
So dexterity or under.
Yeah, roll a d20 against your dexterity. You're trying to roll
yeah.
under your dex.
Yay.
Hey, I'm not blind.
Oh shit! I got the highest dex.
Dang it. It is not Jonathan's day.
No man, this is.
So
this
Jonathan,
tower
you're
will be the end of me. Damn it! Here, someone else hold this damn gold. It must be cursed.
is everybody else saved though? Everybody else is good.
Yeah.
So you manage to get your hands up over your eyes. You can't really move them away because this light is just
He
blinding.
just
It's not,
woke up at the wrong time.
Where did
I was
everybody go?
gonna say, who are you blaming this time? Yeah.
our wizard friend, is he still standing in front of the?
Yeah, I'd be here just kind of looking at. Yeah.
So you've got your hands over your eyes and you kind of like you're able to see in between your fingers a little bit. The room's still shaking, and you see one of the Bunsen burners that are on there, or the equivalent of what a Bunsen burner would be, I guess, at this time period, falls over and lands on the stone floor. Its flame still licking, and that hissing sound is still going. And you see that the gas that you couldn't see before has ignited and is racing back towards that red barrel at an incredible pace. Can everybody show me where you are on this map, just roughly? So I know
I was vomiting.
Yeah, you know I'm here.
How do I
right?
ping?
So
Just hold
Left click.
Oh.
yeah, just left click and hold. Yeah.
Hold down.
Okay, now I
Over
came
by the water barrel or whatever it is.
the spiral staircase. All I did was walk up to it,
Yeah.
and you said it went off right before I got to it, right? So I'm right.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And I was vomiting in the corner there by the spiral staircase.
all right, perfect. So
Right.
As
there.
as the Bunsen burner ignites the gas goes flying back, almost like in a Hollywood movie, as it trails back almost instantaneously back to its red barrel and explodes. As it explodes,
So I'm blind. And all I
you
hear
don't
is
see
this
it happening.
We're gonna start calling you Lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
A giant fireball fills the room and is knocking anything that was hanging is now flying everywhere. Debris is going all over this room. Part of the ceiling starts to collapse. Everybody dies in this giant ass explosion. You all perish instantly.
Oh shit!
Now,
However, in your last moments, though, Jonathan, as you're laying there and parts of the ceiling has started to crumble in, you see that piece of ceiling hit that big stone barrel
Yeah.
and cracked it enough, like put a big chip into it, that something has been oozing out of it, and it seems to be eating away at the cage for this stairwell.
Okay.
And as the darkness kind of closes in over your vision, you hear another large ripping sound.
Okay.
And when you reopen your eyes, you're standing back at the staircase. You're puking,
Right.
and Dell's character is looking over, and he has a sense of deja vu, like he's seen this before. And you guys can restore all your hit points back to what it was when we entered this room. And so you see the hanging potions.
Yeah.
And you've got
we must. I have had a vision. Where have you been? We need to evacuate here quickly.
So the room is shaking. And
down. I vomit into the corner, trying not to repeat what happened.
I don't want to get.
As I put
And
one,
another bottle
foot.
falls. Can you do your save again to see if
My save?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's you again.
Oh my gosh! Here we go. I need a 12 plus 1, 19.
So again, the bottle falls and lands in front of you, but does not break.
All right.
What's everybody's
Okay,
next?
I know where we are headed here. We must move. And I'm crawling toward the stairs. Get your hand off my back,
Yeah.
Singer. Go.
Yeah,
to
so-
the stairs.
So other than is it Sager?
Seeker.
Yeah, Seeger. So other than Seeger having a sense of deja vu, do we kind of all like? wait
Yeah,
a
you guys
minute,
all
what
have that
happened?
same sense of deja vu, like
Okay.
you,
Yeah.
like an overwhelming
We try
sense.
and overturn this water barrel.
Now, I want to say,
But-
the last time when I came up, I hadn't intended to, whenever I spoke verbally, because I heard that crack, that the tower has been moved out. I thought it had disappeared and we're trapped in it for another 50 years. So that was what, whenever Todd walked over to this water barrel right here, and he was over there throwing up, and Justin went over here, I walked up there and I was stalking with the intent to take that hammer because I was ticked off and I wanted to crack that crystal. All right.
Mhm.
You said it blew off right there. I blocked it, but that's just going to tick me off more. So no matter if I got deja vu or anything, I'm coming down with a swing.
So your initial reaction here is head right for the crystal here after everything.
Yeah, that was the reaction before everything went,
Okay, no problem. So everything is kind of going in a very similar order. So the room was shaking, a bottle fell. Dell, you're going to run directly to that crystal and swing to hit it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay, and you've got. I mean, it's a crystal, and you're swinging a warhammer into it, and you have great strength on it. You smash into it, and it just crumbles like a crystal would. Pieces of it kind of fall everywhere, but it's kind of gone. So we don't have to worry about it blinding everybody this time.
That's good.
As everything falls, so we'll do the second test and see if another bottle hits somebody.
I turn around. We're trapped in this damnable tower.
Oh shit!
You know what to do.
There we go. Oh wait, I got +1, so 12. I did make
so
that.
bottles are just raining around you, but it's almost like your character's trying to catch them.
Right.
Oh,
Setting them down, catching them, setting them down.
Cleric, is there anything that you're doing at this point?
Yeah. So now around the staircase, this is a cage around the staircase.
Yeah, it's like a big metal cage that has encompassed all the staircase that you can see.
No door to get through the cage.
There is a swinging door right through the front of it, but it's completely locked up at this point. Like it looks like it's solidly chained up and.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to try and overturn this barrel onto these bars. See if
It's a stone barrel.
Just a big stone barrel, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a giant stone barrel.
but the liquid in it seems acidic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what had the impression that you got from it. Definitely.
That's right. So,
Okay,
like, am I? This is what my interpretation of it is that maybe that acidic liquid would burn through the bars or melt the bars.
Yeah, we'll just turn it over and find out.
So that's what I'm thinking. Unless, is there something on those tables that I could use to ladle some of
I was going to
the
say one of these glass beakers may be just fine to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go
as you guys are discussing this and trying to figure out, I assume you're explaining to your companions what you're thinking. the room continues to shake, and something falls from the ceiling and hits the red barrel, and it begins to hiss.
Oh shit!
Can I run over there and because I'm picturing I have my winter blanket with me because I had that kind of draped over me. Could I take that and just kind of like roll it up and tie it around the barrel to stop where this hissing might be coming from? Like if I come over to it.
Yeah, you can definitely try to do that. Yeah, so you can come over and you wrap the barrel around. The hissing is definitely deadened down. You don't really hear it nearly as strong as you don't know whether it's because your blanket's deadening the sound or if it's actually sealed it up. But you've definitely wrapped. It is now a very cozy red barrel.
Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to every single table that has a Bunsen burner, and I'm going to go.
Good job. As you do that, just as you blow out the last one, the room has another violent shake, and a bunch of the Bunsen burners that were on those tables all fell off, much like they did before. But there's no flame in them.
Yay!
Hey.
Is it just me, or does it feel dizzy in here? Yeah.
Okay. Well, when I see Todd's burning, yeah, I see him over there starting to push that barrel over. I just cracked that crystal and said that I'll stalk over there and to help him. So I'm right beside you.
All right.
Let's push this bitch over.
Yes.
Can both of you guys roll under your strength for me? Del,
I think I got a 10 strength.
I got a freaking 19.
Oh shoot!
I rolled 14. No.
So they're shoving. They're not able to get anywhere with it. Justin, I think your character was mentioning something about beakers or something. Were you going to give that a shot?
Yeah, like the glass itself should be able to pick up the acidic chemical, but the thing is, I want to be very careful. Like, there's nothing like gloves or anything here, is there?
Is there a door on? It's a cage, but is there like a door with a lock?
Yeah. So there's a big door, and it seems to have chains wrapped around it, but there's no lock on it. But try as you might, you can't seem to yank that door open.
Okay. I have something that's a little bit creative, but you can stop me. So it doesn't necessarily say that this happens, but I rolled like my spells randomly, and I got magic mouth, right? So that specifically says that a mouth shows up, talks, and it spouts whatever that I want it to say. Could I make the mouth go deep enough into the barrel that when it opens its mouth, it's actually spitting the acidic acid like out onto this? I was like, wait, I have a plan.
Cast it into Cast it
into
and then tell it to talk, right?
And then tell it to talk. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, sure. You can definitely try to do that. Whatever you have it say, I want you to. Do you have any water near you? Like in real life?
Me?
No. Oh shit.
Yeah. So if you do, whatever you wanted to say, I just want you to take a mouthful of water and talk as the mouth, so we know what the mouth is saying.
Oh, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. I have a laptop in front of me. Yeah.
But you see, we'll say that you cast that off.
Okay.
Nice.
The mouth appeared inside the.
Yeah.
Bubbles come up as this thing's trying to talk from underwater, and a little bit sprays out, and a couple of drops do hit the cage, and you see it start to smolder, and it looks like it's eating away at the metal, but not enough comes out to influence the.
Okay, so before it finishes, can I grab a glass beaker and then just kind of jam it right in front of the mouth while it spits out? I can kind of collect it because I'm just really worried to put my hand over an open bowl of acid.
Hand in front of a spitting mouthful.
Well, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get the biggest beaker I can get, right? And just like, okay, just
for creativity points. Yes, that'll work.
Okay.
And, you're able to gather a little bit of magic spit and acid from this, thing into a beaker, and you get a not a huge amount, but a little bit at least.
Okay, so I'll take that over to, like you said, it was like a big chain or something was wrapped around like the door that was here, right? So I'll take that and I'll just kind of pour it very, very carefully over the lock as best as I can.
All right, perfect. And so it starts to eat away, and we're going to do one more bottle falling from the ceiling. It's a 7, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Del, can you please do a save against perilous, I believe is what we were doing. We're paralyzed.
All right.
Ooh. Ooh.
Let me see. +3 for that.
So that's a 10. Is that a pass on
Yeah,
your
it'd
save?
be a 10, but it won't.
It won't.
No.
No, it's 14.
All right. Roll yourself a d4, and you're going to take whatever damage comes from this. It ends up being an empty bottle, but it is incredibly heavy glass as
Okay.
it smashes into you.
4.
Uh,
Great.
You get a big slice across your forehead
Oh,
from
shoot.
the glass bottle, and take 4 damage as blood starts to pour over your brow.
Down
The
my
acid does its work on the chain, and once between you pouring the acid and pulling on the bars, you're able to get to the door open.
Okay.
And there's
Nice.
a staircase heading up to what will be the 4th floor. And I'd say, does anybody mind if we take like a 5-10 minute
Sure.
bio break?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll see what's on the 4th.
Yeah.
Good thinking, Merrick.
Yeah.
Good
All right.
thinking.
All right.
Where's my?
I don't know if Jason ever left, but
Yes, I did. I went to the potty. I took a bio break, man.
Mm-hmm.
King Pot
You know,
is like
a little
Vomiting,
Elserum.
yeah, getting cut up by skeletons, getting the magic milk of the Sacred Mother.
takes
Being
that.
blinded.
I mean, yeah, blinded, killed. Makes a man need to go to the toilet,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're drinking a big.
I know, that's what I was looking at. It's like, dang, he's got twice as big.
Glass envy? Is that what's going on?
That's what I was like.
All right.
all right. So you guys come up the stairs, and as you reach the top of the stairs there that you were able to unlock, there's a ladder that seems to lead up to a hatch. Hatch at the top of the roof.
Nice.
Okay.
Looks like it's going to lead up to the roof, as best as you can tell.
All right.
So who is first through said hatch?
Well, I'll get up there and check it for traps. The one time I didn't, I got gas, so I'm definitely checking.
If you got gas, I'm not behind you.
No, doesn't appear to have any traps on here.
Okay.
Only the cursed king dragon with his goblins was trapped. As far as
Exactly. Yeah. I will. Of course, it was. The dragon's name was Sam, right? Is that right?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
I'll push this open a little bit, and just where I can get my eyes above the edge and look around.
So as you lift it up, you can see the night sky out here. This is the very top of the tower. You feel the wind start to hit you as you lift up the.
Is it
up
still
the,
cold?
Still cold.
Okay.
And you still have the dancing lights all over the place. The lights are almost so bright and shifting that you don't get a real good sense of what might be below the tower, although you're not really in a position to see that at the moment.
Right.
What you do see, though, as you peer across, is the roof for the most part seems to be largely empty, but there's a large stamped-in impression on one side of the right over there, which seems to have a weird symbol on it. There's a small podium with a large magical book laying on it, and in front of it is a young woman, looks to be in her mid-20s, long dark hair, adorned in very nice robes, and she seems to be very frustrated leaning over it. You see her flipping pages fervently, trying to cast spells, and seems to be muttering to herself, and looks to be kind of agitated / frustrated.
Does she hear us or see the hatch open?
She has not had any sort of awareness of your arrival.
I want to
You're-
move. I'm
you're-
gonna whisper to everybody below.
Okay.
There is a woman, and she's working magic. Shh.
Is she hot?
The witch better not have taken us elsewhere with this damnable power.
She may be. I will. I want to try
Where
to
are
move
we,
silently to get out.
Move out of the way, Short. And I'm
Oh,
Then all of us try to stick our.
I'm trying to push you and get you out.
too many days with Sherpas has made this group a little bit.
Are you sure it wasn't? Are you sure it wasn't whenever the cleric was like, "Here from the teeth"?
Here, from the.
No, it's all right. So
Yeah, we don't need a visual aid for that.
Right.
Kindness. Yeah.
So you guys are on a ladder. So you're pushing.
Yes,
pushing the thief all
Seeger's
the way up.
climbed over us all, right?
Actually,
Yeah,
wait.
I'm
Before we head up, so this might actually be Nim, right? Was that her name?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said
Yeah.
you're the stat or taking us somewhere else.
I was going to say, well, here, just give me a moment. I might have something that might be able to help us out. And so what I want to do is reaching in my backpack. I actually have a scroll of charm person.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, hell, man, I'm
Okay. That's up to you guys. I can use this. It might work in our favor. It might not. I don't know.
Then go. And
I'm
I
lost neutral.
slowly push the hatch up, holding it so it won't fall.
Yeah,
I
gotta kind of see her so I can cast this spell. So I get my head right beside,
Oh hell, I'm already counting out.
and I'm just reading this off, and I just kind of point.
What's
I'm
going on
counting
up
out
there?
if he's trying to read out the other side. Okay,
Yeah.
like Short was on his hands and knees in there.
All right.
What's the save for charm?
So it's just gonna be spell.
Yeah.
That's
save
all it
versus
is.
Spells.
Just a save versus spell. So chances are hers is gonna be pretty good.
I have to look up what the magic user saves is. Just give me a quick
Yeah.
second.
So it's page 57. Well, 53 in the book, 57 in the PDF.
And also, what you can do, if we come back to it in the future, there's actually a tables and charts booklet you can get that has all of that listed.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I saw that. I did not grab it, but I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Save versus spells, and she gets a bonus as well. So she is rolling. Let's see here. D20. And yeah, she hits it dead on. Actually, she needed to get a 13, and with her +1, she hits the 13.
Yeah. You're up, Jonathan.
So, but she's magically aware, and casting the spell at her makes her. She's aware that magic has been cast in her presence. And she starts looking around to see what happens. I assume whenever you drop back down, you lowered the hatch with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I push his head down and pull it. Yeah.
Oh hell, I'm out, man. I'm
Oh,
already
you're
out.
push it through. Okay.
That's what I said earlier. I crawled out.
Oh,
If he-
I didn't hear that. Oh.
Okay.
What's
well,
up there?
You're already back sitting with the Sherpas having dinner type of thing? Or?
No, I crawled out of the hatch and I'm on the roof.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
you're just
so yeah,
out.
she looks around
Okay.
to see where this magical cast comes from, and she sees.
And I'll point at the dwarf like he did it.
Yeah, just be
Who's
like,
him?
And
Where have you taken us?
taken you.
Which-
What are you doing here?
We come for your book. And you.
And with that, she instantly rises up like, "Oh no, you didn't!"
Barrel.
And are you guys all out right now, or?
And then at this time I hear the door clink shut.
Yeah. Yo.
Yep, Seeger's dead. Want to go up? Or you want to just...
What book?
I wasn't through
I
the
don't know
hatch
what
yet.
he's talking about.
I don't
So-
know him.
Yeah.
Where are you taking us?
So as soon as you mention that you're coming for the book, she makes a motion, and the book slams shut on the pedestal, and the pedestal closes over top of it, almost like a protective case around it.
Okay.
She does that with one hand, not leaving not allowing you to leave her sight. And once she hears the clamp as the shell comes over, she raises the other hand, and we're going to roll for initiative, see if you get a chance to act before she does here.
All right. No.
Oh. Ugh.
All right. Where are the rest of you guys? Just so I know here. Like, do you guys stay below the hatch, or did you guys?
I was below the hatch.
I'm listening carefully to his cries of screaming and death.
Yeah.
Just keep
Did
asking
he
what's going
say
on
we
up
were
there.
here to steal the book?
Yeah.
It's like on Young Frankenstein.
Virgin.
Next time they ask you what you're here for, do not say steal the book.
Is about to be eviscerated, I believe, by Nim.
It's like that scene on Young Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm. Right? Whatever you do not let me out of this room.
All right. I get to cast. Well, the only person who's up here is our dwarf friend. So I'm not even going to bother rolling for how many people this impacts, because the rest of you guys are out of
to
sight.
break out the 3 pages of spells that she has access
You want
to.
to get a +1 off of Dex,
Which
right?
one?
So you get to do a saving throw versus spells.
All right.
You get to do it. +3 for dwarves too, I think.
7.
I assume that's not going to pass for you.
Pass, so 7.
All right,
For
can you roll a
fighter? No.
Can you roll a d20 for me, please?
Yeah, fighter's 16, I think. 6.
Ooh.
A 6. So you guys are all listening at the door, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're all like this.
So you hear a muffled exchange between the two, and then you just hear the dwarf start to babble and just talking in crazy tongues.
Uh-huh.
But no screams of pain, just loud shouts of just almost like he has Tourette's, but the words don't make any sense.
Okay.
Just being screamed from his mouth. Del, you don't even really seem to understand what's happening either. Like, it's without your even meaning to, you're just spewing random.
And where have you taken us, winch? And it's coming out. I can't even understand it. But I realize I'm saying something different, right?
Yeah. You know that you're spewing out stuff. You hear it, and it doesn't sound right to you either. But you don't understand why it doesn't sound right.
And it's my eyes.
Is that a foreign language? Is that Cobalt? What is
and
that?
I start getting. Now I do have Orc as a second language, but I start getting lower.
You're not. You find yourself unable to move. All you can do is just like you try to move a little bit, but you think to move, but your body doesn't respond to you, and you just continue to babble. And I would assume you get frustrated, and the babbles become louder and more as you would curse.
Yeah.
How bad do you want that book, Murky? Sorry.
You can call me Murky there, Lucky. That's fine.
Sorry, Merrick. Excuse me. How bad do you want this book, Merrick?
We really need it. But we got to try and pacify the situation as best as we can and let her know that we're here to get her out of here, not to take her book.
We must make room for the charming choleric to talk to this woman.
That is a very good idea.
I will. Well, I've got a charisma of 8, I think.
Oh damn!
Yeah, quit talking numbers up there. Get up there, Butterball.
Don't tell me I've got the high. Oh, I may be the highest, huh?
No, wait a minute. No, wait. I think. No, I got 13. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Team.
Work.
All right.
Yes, make room for the cleric.
I will
I'll
use
slide
my
out of the way so you can climb up.
Silky, creamy words of my naked mother.
You got a weird thing going on.
Okay. I don't know what's going on up there in Canada.
I'm ignoring all of this.
That's Freudian big time right there, right?
Getting, may need to take a shower later, but whatever.
And now I wonder how Todd has 49 grandkids.
As you lift up the trap door to come and begin your unholy conversation here, as she sees the hatch open, you hear her tell you, "Bring the rest of your companions. Stop coming up one at a time like rats fleeing a ship."
All right,
I'll poke my head out.
I'm gonna go.
For the dwarf.
Back in a moment. I'm gonna close the hatch. She says she wants us all to go for it together.
Yeah. Well,
I think you should leave.
Be what she gets.
Okay, all right. I'll tell her.
Hear me out.
You tell her, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
I raise the hat and I'm like, we'll get back to you on that, okay?
And you see her
No.
swipe her hand, and the hatch rips out of your hand and slams fully open behind you.
Oh no.
At this point, I think we should go up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You first.
Well, I'm at the top of the ladder, so I guess I'll go first.
Ah, yes.
And there and kind of arrange myself. Just armor's a little too tight.
I mean, you guys could try to go back down. It's you don't have to go up.
No.
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 I'm not
I mean,
going down that road.
What's happening with our dwarven friend?
He's still standing there babbling away.
Okay, so he's not turned into a rat or a mouse or a kobold.
No, he looks perfectly normal, other than he seems to be frozen in place, like he's not able to move himself.
So I'll come up beside them. We all look like sheepish teenage kids, right? And I'll head over to the dwarf and cup his mouth.
Okay.
So
And
he can't. Right, exactly.
Very well.
So I
Magic
ask
Man,
again,
I think this is your go here. Yeah.
what are you here for? I have work to do. I do not have much time.
Perhaps we can help. What is it you're trying to do?
And
Merrick
she
is a very, very
That's
powerful
right.
man.
And I shoved the magic user forward.
See.
You may need help.
and she says, "Are you the one who hired the dwarf to steal my book?"
No, we're not here to steal your book at all. Beryl sent us here just to see what was happening with the tower and to find out what was happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
He actually ordered us to bring you back to talk to you.
We're here to save you, fair madam.
Well, save me.
The name Beryl means nothing to me.
Oh, ouch! Take that. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. But no.
Unforeseen. Awkward. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, how long has the tower been here? This is out of character because I wasn't quite sure. You said it was like 50 years or 100 years or something like that.
So out of character, Beryl had told you guys that the tower seems to appear every 50 years. He never told you how long, how many cycles it's gone through. But he was last here 50 years ago, and tried to get his party inside.
Well, Nim, you may not have heard of Beryl, but how would we know your name if you had not met this man before? If he did not know of you?
She kind of stands a little bit taller. She goes, "All who are familiar with the arcane arts should know my name."
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
but yet you struggle with this book, this simple book. Why not let Merrick look at it?
And she explains that she's like, "No, a poor apprentice like him is in no position to try to solve this sort of a riddle.
But
I'm so close. I can
sometimes
pass."
The truth comes from the ignorant.
She goes, "I'm so close to being able to cast multiple spells at the same time." And she goes, "In fact, let me show you." And both her hands come out, and you can see lightning start to form between her fingertips on either hand.
Not good.
Oh, hey, can we roll for initiative? I go for my dagger and throw it at her.
We can definitely roll for initiative. Yeah.
If you want to do that, because I'm like, nope, I know exactly what that is. Yeah.
And go ahead, Justin. You roll for it because you've got
Sorry.
the action one.
It seems. I'm sorry, guys. It just seems like a really good Wisdom 5 moment.
Yes.
There you go. Where did that go?
Nice.
All right. So
Merrick.
you see the hands come out, and she kind of has a little bit of a sideways grin. She's like, "In fact, let me show you how I can cast multiple spells at once." And both hands start to light up with lightning. And you do what at this point?
I go for my belt, take out my dagger, flip it blade, holding on to it blade first, and I actually throw it at her while trying to get out of the way of this lightning bolt.
AC 12. See if you hit.
Am I within 10 feet, would you say?
Um,
No, probably not.
No, you're probably like 15, 20 feet.
All right.
14 hits.
Good.
Good.
Oh,
For 1 damage.
to the throat.
And so it comes and she kind of half turns to dodge at her the flowing parts of her garb, kind of whistling, and it cuts through her robes and just grazes across her arm. She drops one arm, the lightning bolt spell disappearing from that one, but with the other one, she looks like she's still about to cast. But you guys have initiative, so
yeah, I'm
let's
gonna,
start with
I'm
you,
gonna
Barry.
sprint across the room in one move and try to wrestle her, grapple her.
And Merrick jumps behind Seeger.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
the dwarf.
Wait,
Merrick.
are you wearing armor? Like, are you like, is it steel? Because
Yeah,
I'm
like a
gonna
meat
stand
shield.
like 20
Doesn't
feet
matter if
behind
he's got
you.
armor. He's a meat shield, man. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let loose with one of my sling bullets at her. Yeah.
All right.
Distance from her.
Okay, so you can roll your attack, and Jason, you're going to grapple. Is that an opposed strength check?
So I roll a normal attack. They get a save versus death ray. So if I succeed, I hold them.
Okay.
But they have to make a death ray save to break the hold. But once I'm holding her, I've got control of her until she breaks it.
Okay. All right.
So
So
doesn't sound complicated enough for a grapple roll, really.
It's pretty long, but most of it's description. So yeah.
I was being facetious. I didn't think it was.
I know, but I'm saying that ironically, it's a lot
Yeah.
of information here. But you're right; it's simpler than the normal.
all right. Let's see here. Okay. So did you roll your attack? Sorry, our cleric friend.
Do you want me
Here
to?
we go. I just fired.
Nice. Burn.
Yeah.
14. That hits.
1 point damage.
For 1 damage. Okay.
Chip damage. Yeah, she's just getting more annoyed.
A pebble comes flying at her and hits her right in the tooth. Cracks the tooth. Meanwhile, the thief attempts to grapple her. She has to take which saving throw again? Sorry.
Not yet. Not until I actually hit her. I have to grapple her
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Okay.
Then on every turn, she has to make a death ray to break the hold. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which would be on her turn, right? Oh!
Oh!
You ain't
Hey.
casting no spells, honey.
Dang.
So yeah, you managed to wrap.
I'm more motivated to grab hold of this hot mama, right? So it was not hard. This is not hard.
Yeah.
They grabbed her by the ponytails. The pigtails, I mean.
Where's-
So the other arm goes down, and the lightning spell disperses off of her.
Yeah.
As she's no longer
I
able to
whisper
cast
in
it.
her ear, I
Um,
think you better give up, sweetheart.
Dell, you said you were hiding. Were you taking any other action other than just hiding behind your meat shield?
No, I wasn't hiding. I'm
Yeah, because he can't move.
I wasn't hiding.
Yeah.
behind sight. He's the one who's hiding behind me. I was. Now, I mean,
All right.
right.
So on her action, you whisper to her that she should give up, and she's going to try to do the save versus which one was it against me?
Death ray.
Death ray for her is a 12.
Yeah.
Now, can she still hold me without concentrating on it, or what?
Yeah, it's a time spell. It lasts for a few more rounds.
52 years, but in dwarf, that's not too bad.
That's nothing.
But she fails to break out of this.
Quick, help me hold her. Tie her up.
All right. I'll run over and grabbing the rope that's in my backpack, drawing it out as I'm coming across the room. Right?
Yeah.
Quicker, you fool.
Yeah.
There's 50 feet of it in here.
She
Give me a breath.
may be a
Here,
woman,
make
but
sure you
she's
bind her
feisty.
hands really good. Give me that. Come on.
You might want to gag her as well.
As you guys are binding and gagging her, you hear that familiar sound throughout the sky, and just as you get her completely bound, There's a weird bubble that seems to form right in front of her for a moment. It shimmers much like the tower did when it appeared, and then it pops, and you see a woman with very similar facial features, but her hair has all gone gray, and she has many scars about her. And she's holding a dagger. As she holds it, as soon as she pops into existence, she immediately puts it to Nim's neck. And then she recognizes that you guys are here and says, "Back away. This is not your fight."
That is not going to happen, my dear.
Okay, so I'm gonna slowly slink back to the pedestal that has the book. Just be like, but you said that it's actually cupped, though, right?
We have it under control. Right? We have it under control.
You know not what you mess with. You're and she sees you still mumbling, and she casts she does like a flick, and a stone comes flying across Dell, and it taps you in the head. Doesn't do any damage, but it acts as an attack, breaking the spell of confusion that was on you. And you're free to speak.
Taking us somewhere.
Now you die, woman.
Okay, and I'm clumping across the.
Whoa.
And you can see the eye lock between the two women, and as you look at it a little bit longer, you can tell that you're not sure if maybe they're relatives or if they're sisters, but there's a strong similarity between them and an obvious recognition of the two.
So, is your name Nim?
Our names are Nim.
And you are here to kill yourself in the past?
You have no idea what this one will do in the future.
I got a real good idea what she'll do in the future. Yes.
You four. 1 second, sorry. You four still have work to do. You should not be here. If you wish to be able to do what you need to do, I suggest you back away.
Good enough for me.
And she sees
Give
Merrick.
us the book and we will go.
She sees Merrick trying to fiddle with the closed thing, and she goes, "Don't put it any further to the left, or you will have a very bad time."
Okay. So, yeah. Okay.
She can see what you're doing, and she knows that it's magically trapped, and you're right at the edge of doing it. She seems to be earnestly telling you, but you don't know who this person is.
No.
Who wants to do a charisma check to see if you know? If you
I've got 13 charisma.
All right, roll under your charisma. See if you
9. Yep.
Yeah. So as far as you can tell, she seems sincere.
Right. I think we should listen to this.
But she is bringing the knife closer and closer to the other one's neck.
I'm running past her, huffing it like that, and I got my hammer still, so she broke me. I said we was coming for your book, and I'm swinging at the little tome where they keep the book at on the pedestal.
Oh,
I'm keeping my fingers back. Yeah. Whoa, gee. Yeah.
Roll your to hit. Whatever you're like, roll your d20 and show me what your to hit is.
Okay. Oh man.
All right.
Oh.
What's the damage on your hammer?
I got a +3 to hit melee damage, so it's like 4. So what is? I don't have it on the list.
Like had you
What is
hit,
it, a
what's your damage?
warhammer? It's 1d6 if it's a warhammer.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a d6 and add your strength bonus.
And apply it to myself.
No.
1d6 is strength bonus, which would be 1.
All right. So your hammer swings down, and just as it's about to touch the pedestal,
Yeah.
it goes whoop, and it's almost like it's been reversed. And in the same force that you swung forward, it now swings back towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it clocks you, and you take 4 damage.
And I could just straight fall back and hit the ground. Smack down.
That book should be in no one's hands.
Yeah.
The power
you
it
idiot.
holds.
So, Nim, do you know Beryl?
I was gonna say, yeah, you idiot. You can't get a book with a friggin' warhammer, and then I just continue to try to jimmy it with the dagger. Yeah.
Roll under your decks, please.
Oh.
It was in that thing, so
Told you, little woman, you should have left the dwarf confused.
Yeah. No, it's a 5. Yeah, so it's under my deck.
You roll under your decks.
Yep.
So you're going around and you can feel some weird surfaces, like it's not completely smooth, but you're able to avoid those. And you're still jimmying around. It hasn't sprung open yet, but you haven't triggered anything either.
Okay.
And yes, so older Nim still has the dagger to younger Nim's neck, and you can see that the lights around the tower are starting to get brighter, and then they fade out, then they get brighter, then they fade out. And the shaking has come back now at this point, and the top of the tower is starting to wave a little bit too. Older Nim says, "You must be gone. I need to finish this."
I'm rolling over on my side. Ugh.
Come, my friends. I think it is.
She
Let's do as she says.
Please.
and she waves her hand, and a small portal appears, and she says, "You still have much to do. Get through the portal."
I step up, I get right in front of her, nose to nose, eye contact. Is there gold through that portal?
There is much you will find.
I believe her totally, so I'm going through.
Yeah, and I'll follow right on the Caleric's hip through the portal.
But we
Okay.
need the book to get the gold, and I'm staggering around as I get up.
We got gold at the table. It'll be fine.
Trust
There
me,
will be other chances.
You can shift me and say, "I'll take you to it," and walk me through the portal if you want to.
Yeah, I'll take you to the gold. Don't you worry.
So
Okay,
as
staggering around still.
as you guys leave her immediate area, and you're walking through the portal, the last one's through. You see her kind of softly say, "I'm sorry," as she slices the neck of younger Nim.
Mhm.
And she waves her hand, and the book flips back open, and you can see her reading a page from it. as you guys are passing through, the building gives one last shake, and she kind of falls forward a little bit onto the book, just as you step through, and your vision kind of goes blurry for a minute, almost like as if you're blinded by those swirling lights that you saw before.
Mhm.
When your vision clears and the dancing lights, almost as if you close your eyes and look to something bright, as all those particles of light kind of dissipate from your view, you recognize that you're back on top of the cliffs where you had first landed with the Sherpas. The tower is no longer there. The Sherpas are no longer there. In fact,
Damn, she tricked us. I thought
fact,
we
there
would
doesn't-
at least be in paradise.
there
No,
appears to
no,
be
no.
no sign of any camp being here at all. Jonathan, as you walk over to the edge of the cliffs, and you can kind of look down to the land below, and you can look in the direction of where you saw Rest. It's a very clear day. That's not snowing any longer. The ground seems to be almost like in a spring-like fashion. And as you look down to where the city of Rest is, you kind of gasp as you see down below the great castle and the town around there are all in ruin. And where there was once great farmland, it's just covered in marsh and bog.
Mm.
And as you turn your head to a little bit to the east, where there was once a great forest that your people, although you try to hide from being them, where your people were once from, now lie a few stumps and a large clearing.
I pointed out. I can't quite speak. I'm too visibly, too emotionally shaken. But I'll point, and motion to everybody to look, and then I'll turn away and think about this for a moment.
Okay, I'm still dazed and confused. I say, "Get your damn hand off me, Merrick. Where is she at?"
I whisper to the cleric as he looks. I think we made the wrong choice.
I put my hand on his shoulder. I say, "Perhaps you are right, my friend. Perhaps you are right." Shake my head.
Where are we at? I'm still stumbling around in the dazzling lights I got from caulking myself and walking through the portal. Where is she at?
You know what? That bitch took my winter blanket.
She did.
No, I'm still stumbling around.
Luckily, you don't need it because it's springtime, so you're all right.
All right. Yeah, we must be in the gosh, the future. There is remnants of the ruins, so
yeah,
right. It's not like there is nothing here. Right?
That's what I think
Yeah,
too.
where the town of Rest was with its castle and what have you is you can still see ruins of it, but it's not the grand city it was when you saw it days ago.
My gold. What am I gonna do? I can't spend my gold in ruins.
What the hell happened here? I told you we was. It just occurs to me. We were stuck in that castle for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh my God.
Well, I was going to say, remember the pulses that we were going through? They were fairly numerous, and they always happened when the building showed up every 50 years. Mm-hmm. I think we jumped a great amount of time when we didn't even keep track.
Yeah,
we could be so far into the future.
50 years is nothing, as you know, Dwarf. You live 450 years. We must
Burgle,
be much farther.
Hey, nor do we have the book anyway.
We do have some gold. With some gold, we can buy a good meal and some drink.
Yes, and some wine.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Where do you see a town?
And there are many towns in the area of Rest, but the only place that you would probably be able to see from here was the actual city of Rest itself.
Right.
And it's obviously destroyed in some way.
Yeah.
But as you guys stand here on this mountain peak and try to get your sense of where or when you are, we'll fade it to black and say that's the end of the temple tower.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Fun.
Good job, man.
Yeah. Outstanding.
So,
how did you like running it?
Good. I missed a few things that I meant to do. The skeletons were supposed to have double attacks on you guys. Much like you,
yeah, because
they were going much faster. And I forgot to mention that the statues in the first room both had big gems in them to try to encourage you to go after them. It's probably a good thing that you didn't. But
yeah,
These are our resources.
What about thief makes you think stupid? No kidding.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah, they all have to be kleptos for some reason, right? Yeah, I have to go again. I have to go for everything.
Yeah,
for some reason.
I gotta kill myself to get that.
Yeah.
Was that out of the one of those one page?
Running Basic Fantasy.
To answer your question, yes, Todd, it was from one of those. I was kind of browsing through those the other day, and the concept of this one kind of tickled me. So I made a few changes to it, but that's a general idea of that one page dungeon. It's written by a gentleman named. Give me a second here.
What year is that from?
I think it's 2016, I believe. Where's my? Gotta find the original adventure here. There it is. It's called The Tower of the Time Wizard, and it's written by a gentleman by the name of Andrew Harshman. If you go to dndeed.tumblr.com, that's where he's got it. But it's just a one-page dungeon. I changed a couple of things, but for the most part, it's that's how his was.
Cool.
And I thought it'd be an interesting way to take folks from the days of when the city of Rest was still in existence,
right,
to where it is now,
right.
And
it was a good example of puzzling games.
Yeah,
yeah, it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
Get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, the combats were all kind of, as you saw, in a way, optional. Had there not been a cleric, I think you guys would have had a much more difficult time against the skeletons.
Right.
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 But yeah, The statue one was designed where they were moving slowly enough that had you ran like you did, you could get by them. If you engaged, they were HD 5, and they carried a wallop. You guys solved the deja vu room pretty much exactly how it needed to be solved, with wrapping up that red barrel.
Wow.
Wrapping up the red barrel, then using the acid barrel to open it. And the encounter on the roof could have went a couple different ways. You could have chosen to keep the younger one going and seen how things may have changed differently that way. But since you agree with Elder Nim, then this is what happened.
Cool.
Yeah.
So took herself out. So
Yeah.
Well, old.
Thanks for that. Thanks.
Yeah, it was good, Kevin. Thank you. Very good.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
It
It was really
was
good.
this
Had a lot of-
OSR? Was this an OSR one, or was this like a agnostic, system agnostic one page?
The one page adventures are all just a kind of like system agnostic.
Very cool.
It's just like a little things you
Yeah.
could drop into your world wherever you wanted to.
That's cool. Okay. Wow.
So
Yeah.
they don't really give any stats or anything. There's like here's what you
Right,
see.
right.
You go find your own stuff for it.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that's what you want anyway, because then you can run it with whatever you want to run it with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't get much combat because you were able to avoid all of it. But
Yeah, but I almost died anyway, more than once.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is a real good example of old school because, when you're inside of a tower or dungeon and it has the gamey aspect that you have to solve the riddle or the puzzle or what do you need to do? You know what I mean? Wrap the barrel, do this and that. And that's a lot of that's kind of lost in certain games we play.
Well, the thing is, I was going to say, with more modern games, we would be just talking about like, well, I want to make an attack roll, or I want to find out, like, I don't know how to solve this puzzle, so can I make an intelligence check to find out how to get myself out of it? And this, I like it better when it's like, no, just come up with something, just think of something, and we'll see if a roll comes up.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
and I've always had I can see that where there needs to be discussion and things
Yeah.
out as far as the best way to approach. I try to, as far as my own play, I try to kind of keep it in live time or in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can get like analysis paralysis.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it kind of like,
that's kind of what I did. That's kind of what I did in the white box game. Is I let us discuss for a while, and it felt like we were getting analysis paralysis. I was like, no, screw it. Diggy goes and knocks on the door.
yeah.
I let the discussion go a little bit, and then it's like, no, okay, this is enough
as
now.
long as
That's my favorite part of that game.
yeah, because it's what somebody would have done, right?
Because I mean, you do have it. Just has to be in real time. So discussions are happening, but it's almost like there has to be a, emergency or a situation that's kind of
Better get off the pot, as we say.
Yeah, and I didn't roll
Yeah.
any random encounters in that game at all.
Yeah, that's why we was talking. I said
Normally there might have been something show up on you or something, but I was letting you guys decide how you wanted. But that's true. What Dale was saying. So one good thing, the good thing about that is when you have a person in the group that has an idea. If the group defers to that person who has an interesting idea, then we get somewhere because then we can act upon that idea, wrapping the barrel or right. It's when there's a debate as to what's the best idea that gets us in trouble.
Yeah, because I know that there's quite a few DMs that would have said that the whole magic mouth idea, like I just came up with that off the fly. Most of them would say, no, it just does exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, that was
it
great.
just, it
Yeah,
just
that's a
says
great
something.
way
But I'm
to-
like, well, you know what? If it's a mouth, can I just make it so close to the surface it's spewing out?
But if we were sitting at a table,
Yeah.
I would have made you take take a drink of your beverage. So you got to gargle whatever it's saying so that we can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. The snake says hiss. Yeah.
The DM would have got a face full of water, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
But
Now, I think this group here, I'm kind of proud of us for meeting in the middle because I know we're dealing with a lot of old school, and I grew up that way playing that kind of game in dungeons, and I can easily go back to it. And now I've kind of transitioned to more of a narrative, fast pace, which was new for me, and it's only been happening since I started playing with Jason.
Yeah.
Online and everything like that. But before, we never did play in character. We was always like,
Yeah.
everybody was. You got to town, you went straight.
Well, that's what I mean. There's however the GM runs it or however it's designed, that shouldn't stop the players from playing in character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I was in character. You know, I mean, we had some laughs because you can't not. I mean, there's.
Yeah, do you want to explain the painting for those who don't know about it?
Oh, that was so Sam. Gosh, when I first started that Basic Fantasy Facebook group that we have 3 years ago or so, he said something about the dragon and his minions, and the dragon sends his minions to do stuff, and I said, no. Dragons are beasts, and they're in mythology. You slay the dragon. You go to the dragon. The dragon doesn't waste his time as the dawn of his goblins. You know, so we had a nice little discussion about that, and Sam has never forgotten it.
So and that got brought up whenever Jason was mentioning that we're going to do Basic Fantasy again. I was like, oh well. Since he seems to love that idea so much, let's put it up on a painting. That doesn't mean it happened in the world, but it's
Sam,
in a painting.
Sam took it personally. See, people take stuff personally. I'm like, hey, if you want your dragon to be the Dawn, cool. I want the dragon to be the beast.
Yeah.
And he don't care about your goblins.
I also
he doesn't need goblins to kick your ass. Right? So, but that's, but it's not personal.
Yeah.
I've been through so many different transitions in gaming and mindsets of what I thought was correct, and then switched. Mm-hmm. And it's like a continual thing, man.
Right.
That's what's so intriguing about it, and even playing with different people, because it's a social thing, and everybody has to meet in the middle.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's why I love gaming, because if it was just about you, then it's about people and getting people together to do this thing and experience this and find out what other people, how they play and what they do and how they act, and that's the whole point, right? I think it's fantastic. If not, you're holding court, and what's the point of that? Right?
Yeah.
So that isn't good. Yeah. So, like I said, I liked it. I thought it was great, but I love Basic Fantasy. I mean, I've had the luxury of playing maybe 4 times in BF, so I love it. It's I think it's the most flexible OSR with a modern twist without getting too fat with math and bloat and abilities, but it's got some modern things that most players appreciate, like the +3 attribute bonuses.
Yeah, well, for me, it feels more like it's just D20 but trimmed, like just down to the bone. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't need any of the extra stuff. It doesn't need the feats. It doesn't need the So
I mean, even the way he writes it, the fact that you don't see any lists of operations anywhere, it's almost like if you want to read this paragraph, but if not, do it however you want to do it. I mean, I literally ran Basic Fantasy for years, just running it the way I wanted to run it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel there was priorities. There's not lists of priorities there that we have to check off. Like combat operations. It's pretty basic, right? You roll initiative, and then that's, there's no details as to who goes first. When you play BX, you have to tell your intent, then roll initiative, and then you have to follow through with your intent and in order. So missiles go first, casting second, melee last.
Yeah.
So there's tactics with old D&D, BX, 1981. There's tactics involved, but that stuff to me is like, I just want to get into the space and do what you want to do. So Basic Fantasy strips those procedures away and makes it really easy to play narratively.
Well, I mean, he was letting us do that, describe what we want to do. I think I got a little, like, as far as us rolling for initiative, group initiative, and that's another thing to discuss. What's better? It reminds me of Black Hack almost, like who goes first and whatever. But to me, almost it's like at least a procedural, everybody rolling.
Oh, I've gotten to the point
a little bit better.
Yeah, and I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to mess with initiative. I want it to be a narrative. Whoever, like Warlock just says, whoever goes first, whoever initiates combat wins initiative. Right. I mean, you can roll, but I mean, I like that idea that it's narrative. It just makes sense. What occurs starts the combat.
I like it too because I play that way, but I don't know how it works out in play. Because
one of the things I wanted to do, I didn't do it well. so this is failing on my end or an area to improve on my end. But the way that I would normally do it is, or way I've done it in the past, if we're doing group initiative, whatever side is their turn of action, everybody states what they're going to do, and then it gets resolved all at once. So rather than being Dell's character did this, and then Jason's character, no, you guys have initiative. In this 5-second period, what is everybody doing at the same time?
Exactly.
And then that way you can still go off and do whatever it is that you're going to do, but you just don't get the opportunity to see what everybody else did. So everybody calls out what they're going to do, and then we resolve everything all at once.
That's what I was trying to do in the catch up. Like in my mind, when everybody's saying what they're going to do, I say, well, at this point, you'll see me running past,
right?
Because I'm already in motion in my mind.
Yeah, because really, it's technically simultaneous. Is the way I vision combat, but yet D&D built everything in an order of operations, which is war game, right? It's war game. Yeah. So here we are, really technically in this chaos of this simultaneous thing, but we break it down into. So then people think that way. They think, oh, you died before I get to go, which is part of the tactics, right?
I think maybe declarations across the board, and then putting everybody, like go time. And this is what's happening as everything is happening.
And then the other thing that I normally do too that I didn't do quite as well is I don't know if I got everybody all the time. Like there was times where I'm usually a little bit more systematic about making sure everybody gets their little moment on each one. I think I may have skipped you guys a couple of times there, and if I did, I apologize.
To me, it kind of felt a little bit balanced, but I'm kind of loud and obnoxious, so I don't know.
No, I didn't notice any of that, Kevin, and I didn't think anything was wrong with the way you did combat. I mean, you roll initiative, everybody states what they want to do, and roll to hit, or move or whatever, right?
It may have been a product of the fact that we didn't really have combat as per combat for anything more than a round, really.
Yeah, but that's fine though too. You don't need to have combat to have fun. Right?
No,
exactly.
So I was like, it's kind of a nice break, to be honest.
Combat don't really mean much to me. In fact, this is a good example about how you can do things in a room. Like when we was in there with all the potions, things were happening, activities happening. But as far as what are we doing at the same time, I'm just saying, as far as simultaneous play. Be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is everybody doing? And then let's play it out.
Yep.
This is what you're doing. Maybe that is a little hiccup. And I'm not perfect myself, man. I'm glad all of us can be DMs and work together.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And talk about this stuff. Just try.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I was like that room. What's great about that room is you could have made that us in a combat with a room. We could have rolled initiative. And I move to do the thing, and he wraps the thing on his turn, and Todd's trying to push over the right. And on your turn, bottles fall from the walls, and we have to make saves, right? So you can turn that whole room into the combat instead of them being creatures. They're events that occur on their turn. This is what Runehammer did, right? With Index Card RPG. He basically said everything is that simple little DX or that DC number, and where you're technically at combat with everything you meet, but it's not actual combat. It's just making you decide what you're going to do and roll to beat a number, right? And it strips away. And then what happens if you play that? When I ran Index Card, and then I got Blood and Bone, which was similar, and I was already somewhat liberated there. But then what happens is it changes your way of thinking about these mechanics. Work for whatever we want to do. We can call it combat, but you could have run this room just like a combat, but you would have never referred to it as combat. You would have said roll initiative, and we wouldn't have known it was combat, right?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of that, I think it keeps the timing. Yeah. So in my mind, like when Justin went over there and wrapped the barrel, then he went over there to get the things up. Yep. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is taking him so much time, but I'm still standing in place.
Right.
So there's kind of like, so you can see everybody moving.
Yep. Right.
Like he's saying, with initiative, it keeps a kind of a time thing. So
and that's what the Runehammer DC effect was like. Holy shit, that's so simple, but wow, we're now playing basically a 5th edition version of D&D stripped of all the stuff, and everybody understands the game, and we're in a narrative space. Instantly, we're in a narrative space. We all know we got to roll 15 no matter what. If I'm picking a lock, I got to beat a 15. He's casting Turn Undead at the same time. He's got to beat a 15. You're going to stab the skeleton. You got to roll a 15. We all just narrate, and we all know what we got to do, right? It's kind of neat, but it takes away all the idea of tactics, right? I mean, we're all achieving the same thing, beat 15. But technically, it changed. It really did turn D20 into a narrative game. Yeah.
You might agree with me, Jason. I don't know. What he did with the room was brilliant as far as the layout, because we had multiple things. Because when you get a lot of irons in the fire.
Oh, it's awesome.
I mean, what about when we played Traveler the other night? We're trying to get off the space station. You're trying to go out the lock to plant that. I'm trying to lift off the ship. Jose's trying to work the barricade. And so we all had to work together separately.
But again, Antoine had to go around the table. It's too you have to go person to person, or somebody's going to get left out, or something's going to get off. So it's so difficult not to
with an allotment of time say what are you doing in this?
And this is the thing about simple for me versus procedures. So when I run eSmart, for instance, there are procedures, and the guys I'm running it for, they expect me to follow those procedures, so I follow them. Well, when every moment that occurs in a scene is more complicated than the procedures allow, now it breaks down. It turns every combat into a level of procedures versus a dynamic or functional combat. So like Traveler the other night, he could then introduce the arm, and there was no procedural problem for the giant arm to start bashing the ship. There was no procedural problem for me to crawl across to this thing. So the thing about procedures is now we're kind of stuck in this process, and some things are too complicated. Like this room, Kevin ran, is really too complicated for high procedures. Well, so basic fantasy with this room, perfect, because we don't have all those procedures to go through, right? Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the only thing that I found with the room that I'd have to rethink of how I would do, and it may just be a matter of looking at how many because I've got a set of events that are going to happen in this room.
Yeah,
and maybe it's just a matter of saying, okay, between the time you enter and for your first 10 seconds or whatever that you're in the room, what are you doing? And let everybody do a thing. And if they do something that negates the effect, okay, then we skip and we do the next section. Otherwise, the event triggers. I don't know if I had the timing on the events across pretty well. When you guys solved it on the second take, have we done like 3 or 4 takes of that? Maybe it was a little bit
right. Well, that's because these guys were really paying attention. I literally was in character. I was vomiting on my knees in the corner. I mean, my character was not thinking solve this puzzle. So
I did like looking over at the
camera. Thank God they were really trying to solve the puzzle, because my character was not. Right.
I did like looking over at Jitsi and seeing everybody's face when I said, yeah, everybody dies. I did like looking at all your guys' faces like.
No, I literally thought, oh shit, he just pulled a. We're ending this session right now.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he was having an early dinner or something. Right. So yeah,
no, it's cool. And this is the thing about GMs, man. You can do it any way you want, Kevin. It's fine. It works. You know.
I was thinking of making it where I was going to like narrate each individual bottle dropping or debris falling and having you guys take damage in like piecemeal manners. But then I was like, this is just going to take way too long. I don't know how many times you guys are going to have to go through the room.
Yeah,
right.
And well, then I was going to say, it also depends on what your intent is at that point too. Because if you make it more mechanical, it'll slow things down. Right. Yeah. And then is just us taking damage down the line, is that fun?
No.
Like,
exactly.
That's right. Yeah. Because then it becomes a board game where we're all trying to move without dying, right?
Yeah. And then
that's the key. Yeah.
There's a flow to it. I want to point out that there's a difference, since I went very narrative in the way I play. When you're flowing with the narration and you're doing, especially if you're dealing with a lot of people that DM themselves, they'll want to talk and narrate inside their little bubble too, more so than a lot of other people and a lot of other players probably do. So DM, especially reading off a module, when you go in there, you go, okay, this is what you see, which it outlines the room that you're walking into.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's like, I have to hold myself back, and Jason probably does too, because you want to jump in and you say, well, this is what I'm doing.
Sure.
And that's where we got to really playing a lot. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You feel like you're pulling at the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing wrong with this, guys. I mean, there are so many different play styles. It's just meeting in the middle and finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
But I'll congratulate you about that, because I know what you was having to show us what was in that room, and yet Jason's throwing up on the floor over there, and you're like, okay, well, let me finish what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Go back, and I'm running over, and what may consider interrupting something, like I'm beating the hell out of this thing, and everybody's going like I know that probably Justin or anybody would look at me sometimes doing some crazy shit. And this is when the first time when Josh James sent me and Jason down there, and Jason said we walked into a crypt. It was like 11 crypts. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Skeletons in there. We was looking for I was metagaming.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want to die. Right.
I'm like, you freaking crazy. He's not in there. What did he do? I was literally having an anxiety attack. You know, I was like, you get out of here.
Yeah.
You get down the road. You know, I got my 10-foot pole out. What is he doing? He's freaking going to kill us all. I mean, they all did come out, you know, just like I expected.
Right.
But, you know, it's just different ways of play, man.
Sure.
So,
Sure. Well, I don't play it. I literally don't play it like a game I'm trying to survive or win. I just play it like a character. I always have. But the rules dictate procedures on all that stuff.
Yeah, I tend to look at it like a character in a play. Yeah. So you get the information, so you know what is there, you know the situation you're in, you know what the environment is like, and then you just continue with the play. Yeah.
It's rules versus ruling, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and like Kevin said, intent. So if he had changed this tonight or today, and he had said, okay, you present the room, and then you say, okay, intent. What is your intent? What is your intent? What's yours? And then it sets in motion, and we're all moving at the same time then, right? Because once you've got our intent, you can kind of time out how we're moving through the room, and then you can make those rolls. You can, you know what I mean? Versus roll initiative, or versus going with one guy and finding out what's happening, and then one guy and going what's happening. You find out, so we kind of all know what's going to happen at the same time, right? But I thought it was perfect. So.
Yeah. Well, the thing.
But no, I'm really honestly, I'm easy to please. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah. Actually, I loved it because I know it's a game I'm going to remember, because I've played so many games where it comes down to rules and mechanics. And the thing is, I don't remember NPC names. I don't remember why we're in the dungeon. I don't know what's happened. But I'm going to talk about the fact that Jason's character, I'm going to call him Lucky from here on in, that he was thrown up in a corner, and every single pot in that potion room landed right near her for no reason.
Only in that corner, everything came.
Only in that one. I'll remember that I got the gold. He got rid of the skeletons. No sweat. I took some damage. I got the gold, and then he knocks it out of my damn hands. I'll never forget those. Right. So that's the point, right? Where all these characters, it was great.
You remember the characters more so than anything. But I think the fun of play, and even there's something to be said about the old school and the puzzly aspect inside of a dungeon and what was represented there. And I can appreciate stopping and trying to figure it out. Right. And it's really weird, I think, for some people whenever you get characters that are like, because I was trying to play toward because I made him kind of a neutral, not evil, but chaotic.
Right, chaotic.
He didn't care. And it can really throw a monkey wrench into people that are more level-headed. Yeah. Like when me and Ty would play in Lamentations, we was always throwing monkey wrenches in front of Jose. And it was like, oh my God, we're like babysitting all the time.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's nice to have that nice random element to do that, because I had that happen to me in a game I'm running not too long ago, and I actually thought it made the game more interesting. Yeah. So I'm running what is it? DC, Dungeon Crawl Classics. And right now it's I can't remember. It's something of the Savage Kings. I can't remember the module.
Doom of the Savage King.
Doom of the Savage King. So it's very kind of methodical, where you go to a town. Turns out there's a monster. You go to go to a dungeon to get a weapon to kill a monster. And I was like, okay, it's pretty regular, pretty bog standard, but it'll be fun. Yeah. And so I had them go meet the Jarl of the town, and they kind of had heard rumors that, oh no, the Jarl has a sorcerer that seems to be calling this monster, and they're, you know, and that he's not like, he's been picking this lottery, and they've been for months just kind of sacrificing these people to this thing.
Right.
So he's not really popular right now. And they said, okay, so you present it to him. He's like, yeah, we'll go up and we'll talk to him. And one of my characters, yeah, I'm going to draw my sword and kill him.
Yeah.
And it's made the game so much more interesting, because
Yeah.
it's like, well, what's this fallout? Because not only are some of the royal guards actually with you because they're really upset with what the Jarl has done,
Right.
but
Right.
you know, the town is all divided. But the thing is this town also follows Justica, which is a god of law.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to come. So it's like all this stuff kind of starts piling up, and it became more narratively driven and more interesting that way. And I was like, I kind of find that a lot better when you kind of like throw the rules out and just let, you know.
Well, that's
so, but
you know, that's
sometimes
what we discovered with these minimalist games.
Yeah.
It's so simple because it's just roll. When we need an
Yeah.
answer to the challenge, just make a simple roll. We move. We
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
Pace-wise, it's phenomenal, and you get to stay more in character, and you get to communicate with each other
Yeah.
more in character. We're not
Yeah.
then caught up in trying to understand the relevance of what's happening. Well,
Yeah.
like White Box the other night, Dale, you said that about puzzles. I put a puzzle in front of you guys in White Box.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How did that affect your?
It actually, honestly, it was similar to a puzzle I have in a module that I was trying to make for Basic Fantasy.
Right.
Ironically enough, like
Right.
more one page.
But I
thing.
mean, it was a puzzle you had to solve versus making an intelligence check to solve this puzzle, which is
Right.
what
Yeah.
5th edition demands.
Yeah.
Right? 5th edition says they just make rolls to solve puzzles.
Oh no, just like the way Justin solved this. It's boring to me. It's boring to me to say roll a diplomatic roll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and it's not to say that it's the wrong way to play either.
No,
it's just a
gosh,
different way to play, but
It
it's
is.
just it hasn't worked for me.
No.
But anyways, I gotta go, guys. It's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
a little bit
I'm kind of
late.
in the same
and
boat.
I gotta
Yeah,
eat.
getting my supper going here.
Awesome,
Yeah.
guys.
But anyways, we had a lot of fun.
Hell
I hope
yeah.
to do it sometime again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all
Okay.
alive, so you gotta take us to the ruins, man, of Rust City or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go down
Yeah.
and show you how things worked out.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go find a big golden cow statue somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
No judders.
Diana,
All right.
the others.
All right.
Go
I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.